It's messy. Go ahead. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all, it's me, SB. Yeah. And here I am again on a hump day, Wednesday night. I hope you all are doing well. We are just here tonight because we're not doing cruise season tonight. And so you know how it goes, y'all. About midweek, I get to wanting to talk to y'all and just to see how you all are doing. And tonight, y'all know we have a excellent question to ask. So we asked that all of you be involved in this question. We want some answers, y'all, because it's not looking too good out here. And I just want to know. I just want to know from some of you all where we're going, because y'all know I'm already married. Been married a long time. I've settled into this thing. I appreciate life and seen some things. You know, I'm over half, right? I'm over half. So we're just trying to make sure that everybody else gets there. But we want to know how you all see yourselves getting there. And of course, we got some videos to show to you. And we got some people, too, that we want to bring up because cruise season is not on tonight. So we want to bring the crew here. And we still want to have a good time. So tonight's show is, are there better alternatives to the nuclear family? Woo. Are there better alternatives to the nuclear family? Yeah, we got to hear from you all because, I ain't going to say, but a young married woman like myself would say not. But if you all got something, I really want to hear it. I want y'all to sell me because y'all always asking us, what's the pros for being married? What are the benefits of being married? So I need to know, if I'm not married and cuddled up with my love, then what am I doing? So anyway, before we get started, I'm going to say hello to a few people. And I am definitely going to show some appreciation to all of you all being here. Y'all could have been anywhere tonight, but you decided to come and hang out with me for a while. I appreciate it so much. So with that being said, Miss Sherelle. Hello. How are you? I'm glad to see you. O'Shea, what's going on, Mr. O'Shea? I'm here up in here. We need to talk. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Lost in translation. Hello. It's good to see you. Corey. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you. You know, Corey, you and I have not talked in a while, but I ain't forgot. I'm still trying to figure out, what's best for me. You know what I'm talking about. Elbert. Elbert Gilbert, I'm finna put you together. Mr. Gilbert, what's going on? How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Cora, hello, dear. Hadn't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. If I missed somebody. Hotspot Casino. Hello. It's good to see. What's up? What's up with you? Ooh, Ricky. Yeah. Oh, y'all, I forgot to say Ricky is here. Teach. Salute to you. Cries. Hello. Salute to Ricky. Daryl Stewart. It's good to see you. Sunshine. It's good to see you. Also, Ricky is here. We're gonna be pulling him up in just a little bit. You know, why not? Ricky, why don't you, if you're ready, won't you just come on up and say hello to a few people? Also, Ricky is not ready yet, guys, but he is here. Dr. Steele, it's good to see you too. Thank you for being here. Ricky has said, what's up, good people? And I think he might be ready to come up. I'm not sure, but we'll get him up here in just a minute. But Ricky is part of the Krew season. He's going to come. And he going to share this night with us. And we're going to talk about this thing and see what we can do. Ricky, what you think about that topic?
I think it's a great topic. I think it would be nice if everyone could get their own understanding of what it means to them.
I like that. That would be really good. Give us some understanding too, because they're looking at us like we crazy out here.
Hey, sanity looks like crazy in a crazy house. Huh?
Yeah. Tisha, what's up with you, girl? It's good to see you. Princess, am I saying that right? It's gone. Frozen, it's good to see you. Thank you. SB Skin Glistening. Y'all, just for you all. You know I gotta keep it right for y'all. Let's see. Am I missing somebody? Oh gosh. If I did, y'all forgive me. Y'all know throughout the night, I'll be Mr. Boss and I'll be giving you the shout out. Listen, guys, I want to tell y'all this. Sometimes when we get to talking, I'm not into the comment section like I ought to be. But when Mr. Boss put your name on the screen or highlights your comments, we will probably get to them. But note that we appreciate you being here and all of your support. Hey, Ronan, what's going on?
Good about yourselves.
Everything
good,
is good.
Man. How are you, bro?
Listen, the Krew season ain't gonna stop us. We're gonna have our own season. All right, so listen, guys. Ronan, I don't know if you're familiar with the topic yet, but here we go. It is, are there better alternatives to the nuclear family? We got to talk about it. And if there is, I would love to hear about it. I would love to hear what everyone has to say. So it's going to be that type of night. But you know what? We're going to start this thing off because my brother Ricky up here had an interesting night. I think it was last night. If it wasn't last night, it might have been last Wednesday night with some group of people over there on Lapeef. You remember that, Ricky?
Yes, Lord.
And you asked $1 million question. You asked that question. Do you want to get married? You asked the question. And boy, I tell you, I think I went around the roses about 5 times trying to get an answer to that question. And you was trying to help the brother out and still couldn't get a definite answer to that question. So it brings us to this. So I think we're going to get it started with that.
Say it ain't no good men or it ain't no good woman. That's some dumb shit. And I'm not saying you're saying that, but that's why I wanted to jump in to try to get an understanding of what you're trying to say, because there are great women, there are great men. If we still single, we just ain't met them yet. But it doesn't mean that they're not out there yet. That's all I'm saying.
And then the last question I got to ask you is, are you looking to be married?
Yes.
So why aren't you again?
Because I have not found the woman to marry yet.
Whew, okay. So, Ricky, you go. I'm not going to tell you what you said. You know what you said. Go ahead, Ricky. Go ahead, paint the picture, set it up for us. Because this kind of got us started on where we are. Because if we got all these good women, and we know we do, we got all these good men, and it requires is for us to be good people and want to be a part of the nuclear family, then what's the hold up? So you go ahead and set it up for us and tell us exactly what you got out of it.
What I got out of it again is like a lot of people don't practice what they preach. Right. I think it's insulting to us as people To be 100% transparent with you, I think it's an insult to me, right? How can I teach you about something I never accomplished? I never did the work. I didn't stick it out. I didn't go through the trial or tribulations. I left cause whatever. But you out here, these people out here preaching it. Like I said, they teaching y'all how to be single.
Mm.
That's all they doing is teaching y'all how to be single. Have extraordinary expectations and having y'all confuse those with standards. Right? Stop talk. This is really why I'm getting, sis. If you're not married, don't talk about it.
Ooh, Ricky, I like that.
If you're not married, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't try to explain it because you don't know. You're not willing to go through the fire to even see what it's about. And these people are paying their hard-earned money to take life advice from these people. The very people you're listening to can't do what they're trying to teach you to do. Would you pay a person who couldn't swim to teach you to swim?
I wouldn't think they could.
And that's all I'm saying. We need the people who not. Some people shouldn't be at liberty to speak on it because they don't understand it.
Okay, so listen, Ricky, I like that. But that brings us to something that we've been talking about over the last couple of months here and there. I did a show on, is YouTube entertainment or is it real? And, a lot of people say that it's entertainment. But as I'm walking through this and I'm in these spaces and I'm listening to people and I'm getting these videos that we see, not only YouTube, I mean, all of this social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and all of these things. These people that are involved in these videos and telling these stories, these are real people, y'all. It is real life. They bring it to us and sometimes it is entertaining, but this is real life. And I don't think we've come to the conclusions that people actually come to these spaces to get real information.
They do.
And I don't want to use that word. I'm gonna use bad. It's a bad influence when they're not getting the whole picture. So I'm always saying that I want to make sure that everybody has the whole picture so they can make a good decision for their life. Because Ricky, you are exactly right. If we're only painting a picture that it has to be this way, it was 6 figures, 6 feet, 6-pack, good, and there's no bad, or if you don't fit this, you can't come along. If you got some extra pounds, you won't work. If you're a single mom, it won't be any good. If you're creating that type of narrative, then good is not enough. It is not.
And that's my take, right? And what I observe, okay. What I'm observing is this, right? Me personally, I think deep down, I would say 98%. This is just my opinion, guys. This is not a stat. This is not a fact. This is my personal opinion. And my personal opinion, I believe 98% of women want to be married, right? I mean, if that's what you're into, you see what I'm saying? If that's what you're into, now we'll get into the other stuff when we delve into the nuclear family stuff, right? But 98% of women want to be married. But why would a woman marry a man who looks at marriage as a negative? Why? When the union that's supposed to be between you and her, you and him, right? The union that beats all odds, because this is what they tell us. They can throw stats at us. Hey, marriage is at a 60% failure rate. Blah blah blah. People cheat at this rate. Blah blah blah. So the one person you supposed to believe in to help you defy the odds, they negative too.
Absolutely. You're right about that. And listen, I'm gonna add to that. And I know some people get mad at me, but I don't see how we can trust as a woman. And I'm gonna do 95% because there are some women that just truly say they don't want to get married, but they do want companionship. But when we gonna say married, I can't quite do 98, but I will do 95. But I think all of them want companionship. They just want good companionship. So, Ricky, I think you're absolutely right. And I don't even think it's that hard to put it together at all.
It's not. And that's where the lies come in. Right.
Right.
The reason why I asked Mr. Let Go a question, because if it don't make sense, it's not true, guys. Like I'm trying to tell you. It's a simple yes or no question. Right.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. People were I wasn't trying to bait him. I just wanted him to give y'all a straight answer. Can I get a straight answer from another man? That's it. But no, you explaining to me the same way a modern woman explaining the way they responsibility. Well, if this is it, no, it's simple. If you rock with a person, you love them, they love you, and y'all want to build a family together, you gonna figure it out. It's not all these other external facts. Oh, social media and the way society and social media has absolutely nothing to do with me and you. If I allow that to happen, then I wasn't about you in the first place.
You are exactly right, because in order for a woman to invest time or to be invested to a man or love a man, trust a man, she's got to be able to, he can't be negative, and he got to be about what the marriage. And it's oftentimes, and in these spaces, all we talk about is marriage and divorce in the same sentence. And I can't understand how that could be possible. That means I got my eyes on the wrong thing. And I get we're living in a time where prenups and things of that nature are what they call important, but I struggle with it because I'm saying marriage is such a different type of union. But then again, I'm expecting people that believe in one thing to also believe that marriage is a union, when everything we've heard in these spaces is marriage is a business. Now, I think what you're trying to say is we need to start examining where the message is coming from before we actually receive any part of it. Or we need to dig in harder and ask how you know.
And look, what I'm observing is that our people in particular, right? Black folks, black people, melanated people here in America, we allow everyone else to dictate what something was supposed to be for us. Where did this marriage is a business nonsense come from? Where did that colloquialism come from?
Hold on, Ricky, let's stop right there. I hate to do this. I don't hate to do this, but I want to get this involved. Mr. Boss, can you pull up Daryl Stewart's comment? Because this is another one. This is another one right here. Thank you, Daryl, for this comment. He says, Anjolie, I know a lot of my elders were never married and were together for decades until death. Not everyone wants the government involved. Okay. Ricky, you see that comment?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to tell me, because maybe I'm just elder that lost my mind. But how is the government now getting involved, whereas in the past that they were not getting involved? What are we talking about? This is another one of these things that keep you single. This is another one of these things that keep you single. Because when we say the government involved, what are we talking about? Again, this goes back to what you was just getting ready to say. We just made our marriage a business.
Exactly. Again, we allow outside forces to dictate what something was supposed to mean for us. Right? I don't care what you believe it is. I know what it is. Right? So, and listen, this is what I'm saying. I understand everything is not for everybody. I understand that, right? But it's not, then we were saying this last night, marriage is not broken. There's absolutely nothing wrong with marriage. People are broken.
They are.
Right? And we continue to use products and things of status and luxury to and convenience to describe people. Well, if 60% of cars fail, your wife ain't no car. Your husband is not a car. The people you love is not a thing you buy in some shop or store or pick up online from Amazon. For you to have that mindset, look, marriage is not a business. You should be about your business.
Absolutely.
But it is not a business. It's a union between two people where if both have the right mindset and the right heart, both sides benefit. Both. That's the point of calling it a marriage.
Marriage. Let's go one deeper, because marriage does consist of certain things that resembles business. It does. You have your bank accounts. You have decisions you have to make. You have your investments. But again, Jolie said it correctly. Marriage is a covenant. But we have to, I don't know how we make those individuals who continuously think that it's a business. You know what? I can't, it is what it is to them. And those are the things that don't make it. A business goes bankrupt all day, every day. We're hearing it. The banks are now going bankrupt. The banks are closing down. That's a business. If you're comparing your marriage to that, then you probably will not be for a long period of time, because that's not what it's about. Marriage is becoming one with somebody. It's a covenant. It's a promise, guys. It's not a business. And the mindsets, we have to change it. But again, is this information coming from people that have not been married, or are they scientifically putting this together because the government is saying you have to have a license to do so? Then that makes you married. Now, let me just tell you about that. That license to do so, the only reason why we get that, I'm going to speak for myself. The reason why we actually get that license is because we obey in our maturity, in our being moral, in our ethics, in our foundation, in our belief system. We obey the laws of the land. And if that's what they tell us to do in order to be recognized as a married couple, then that's what we do. Because that piece of paper that we get, that's not what holds us together, y'all. It isn't. If y'all listen, and that divorce paper that you get, if you had a true marriage, getting a divorce, that paper is not going to separate you. It is not. Y'all need to know that. Y'all need to know that. Ronan, before we get too far ahead, what do you have to add to this at this point right here? You saw the first video, so tell us what you think about what Brother Ricky had to do the other night.
I think people come with their backwards agendas when it comes to marriage, and people don't do their research on it. They go in halfway in, halfway out, like individuals. And it's like, as far as like what Ricky was saying, it's like if you two talk to each other, establish a covenant. You're talking about communication, parameters, boundaries, things that structure how you guys are going to move. Who cares what the world's got going on? But that's where we lost our way. Instead of having strong families, we don't have strong communities. That's why I said we always have ethnic outposts rather than actual functional communities, because we have a means of not just protecting each other, but what we have as an area collective. That's why we don't have stores that cater to us in our communities. Other people do, but we don't. So when I look at it, too many people are looking at self rather than we. That's a big problem to me. So myself, I've been engaged, but I'm still asking questions about what is that next step. And I agree with them. You should vet who's giving you the information or misinformation out there. There's too many people out there talking about things that they're either currently on the way out of or have no clue what they're doing. Some people just, like I said, some people just can't afford to remain single. So they get married.
This is true. So we got another video that we're going to play. Ricky, are you done with?
Yes,
you got your answer.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Like I said what I had to say the other day. I'm always do that. So
all right, we got another one we're going to play. Let's play this video.
Because listen, I posited this viewpoint a while back ago. Mm-hmm. We've got away from the needing of each other because women don't want to do 50-50 with a man anymore. For whatever the case is, they have that right? Mm-hmm. And they make their own money. Mm-hmm. So before they would tell you, they would say your grandmother stayed with your granddaddy, even though he had a family across town. I don't know if y'all familiar with that, but most people are. Right? But they had to stay with him because, you know, they couldn't, they needed him, right? But now we make our own money, and that's why we don't stay, right? So what happened is money has been injected in the conversation, which is causing a bigger divide amongst relationships because the need to stay is gone. It's only want. And since we have converted from a need to a wants-based thing, you see how people act when you don't need someone. You discard. So when you break it down like that, this is how I present day, right? Because I don't believe that we can revert to the past and go back. I believe once we go to a future, only thing it does is continues to evolve. That's why you hear young people say, "Oh, old person, you off, man. It's a new age out here." They keep telling you, the old folks keep telling you, "No, just do it this way. This is what I know." And young people say, "No." You're seeing a conversion in dating. You're seeing a conversion in relationships. So what does that mean? Women have made money, so they come to the table and they said, "I want to renegotiate the contracts of relationships." So no longer are the men going to be the way the man used to be. That means if you cheat, I ain't staying. I ain't got to listen. This money gives me power. And that confuses women because money gives men power. It gives women the ability to sustain, but it doesn't give them power over men. So there's a confusion there because a man will tell you quickly. Men have actually showed they don't really care. They'll lead. Look, they do you dirty. You can have more money. You can pay for their housing. You can be a hobo sex. Men don't care. Money is not enough to purchase a man. It's very difficult to do.
All right. So you see my brother Aaron. Shout out to Aaron. So again, we've been given some misleading information. Not that we haven't. The information we've given is just that. We have the feminist movement, but I'm gonna go one better, y'all. It started with the boomers, y'all. This is our fault. I'm going to say, forgive me. I'm a Gen X, and I think Ricky is a Gen X also, and I think Ronan is also. But it started with the boomers, y'all. Okay, we had the crack epidemic, right? Where a lot of men and women were addicted to something, and the family just started falling apart. Then we had the feminist movement, right? All of this is contributing to the family falling apart. With the Gen X's, what we did, we have raised a bunch of children, and y'all can tell me if y'all don't agree, that are very much entitled. Being so, entitlement makes you selfish and about yourself. So we've gotten away from the idea of the nuclear family because the Gen X's told their kids, you don't need this. You need to get for yourself. You need to have on your own. You don't need this. Daddies did it. Grandmas did it. Mamas did it. And if we didn't tell them that, we were given to them. So we have ruined a whole group of millennials that are here now that should be dating and getting married, and women loving to be wives and men wanting to be husbands. We are in that place right now, and it is a lot our fault. And due to also the example that a lot of us did not give. But in what Aaron was saying, it's not totally true, because women will stay with men with oops babies. Women will stay with men with family on the other side of town. Women now are entertaining polygamy, polyamorous relationships. A woman wants to be loved and taken care of. Y'all don't get that confused. It's the truth. So when we say that a woman doesn't or won't do this and won't do that because of money, it ain't true, y'all. It's not. It's just that right man that needs to come in and find that woman. It is very true. A woman will. Listen, y'all, it may be some woman out there that's holding out because she made some money. Maybe so, but I doubt it. I think the right man will marry her or can marry her or she'll marry him and everything be just fine. But we have definitely, we caused some issues as Gen Xers, because I know we got an entitled group and they don't care anything about anybody else. And that does hurt the nuclear family. Sugar Bum put in the comment section just a little bit ago, hey, Sugar Bum, how are you? That cooking, cleaning, being a wife and all I'm just paraphrasing, just doing all these things. Oh, it's just too much. Okay, Sugar Bum, what is your alternative? You taking care of yourself. You better be cooking. You better be cleaning. You better be being that dime. You better be showing up sharp and being that lady that you're supposed to be. But guess what? You're missing one huge part of that. That man that's loving you and taking care of you. That logical part to your emotion, you're missing it. So what is your alternative? You just running around here out here by yourself, all vulnerable. You still got to look good. You still got to eat. You still got to take care of yourself. This is not good. It's not good. So again, there are some factors that got these women to the place where we are now. We got another video we're going to show, but not right this second. But it's still a lie. It's still a bad influence on the mind because we still need each other and need to be together in marriage as a nuclear family. And again, we're going to go back to the question. And y'all, we're going to drop the link in just a little bit because I want y'all to come up and tell me what's the alternative. I need some real stuff because I already know that Ronan, Ricky, and SB can shoot a hole in everything y'all got. I definitely know that Ricky and SB can because we've been married for a long time. So whatever y'all got, y'all better come strong because that government thing, that what y'all call it, that slave thing and all that, it ain't working. It ain't working. We got something for that. So y'all think about it real good before you come up here. But we do definitely want to talk about it. But Ricky, what do you think about that? Do you think that we have contributed to the mindsets of what's happening now?
I think we all affect each other in certain ways. But the truth is, like, you grown, no one cares. Right?
Tell me what you mean by that. What you mean? Tell me.
I have a theorem if I can run it by you.
Please do.
Once you're an adult, you're responsible for your own learning. Once you are an adult, you are responsible for your own learning. What I mean when I say that, you could have the most messed up parents in the world, crackhead, beat you, stole from you. You never had any Christmas lights off, freezer, nothing. Once you become an adult and go out on your own, even though your parents did not prepare you, it is still your job to learn. It is still your job to elevate. It is still your job to make yourself a better parent, a better adult than your parents were. That's on you. But what people do as a whole is what they always do. And this is why the needle never moves. Instead of taking accountability for the life that you say as a grown person that no one can tell you what to do, you gonna move how you want to move and shake how you want to shake. You will still 35, 45, 55 blame your parents on what you went through when you was younger.
That's true, but that is very true. And it's not their parents' fault at that time, but I'm just saying we did shape. Excuse me, we shaped these kids.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I agree.
Even if we did and we did it the wrong way, it's still your job. It's your life. It's yours. So do you want to take the scars and the hurt, right? And the things that keep you from being the best person you can be? Do you want to continue to recycle those down generations? Or will you be the one person to say, hey, I don't like the way that went. I understand that was messed up. And then you take the steps to become better.
Ricky, it takes a lot to keep me from being, not me particularly, but it takes a lot for a person not to be selfish. If that's all I know, if all I know is me and doing for me and being for me and about me, it takes a lot of life I have to live a lot of life to understand that that's not correct. Especially if everybody around me is operating in that same vein. Nobody cares about anybody no more.
I got you. But takes away everything you said. However, to answer your point about the children or the younger generation, they smart as a whip, but most of them don't have no character.
Right.
Just because what you said, a lot of parents, even though they may have schooled their children wrong, they substituted that schooling for things, right? Material things, Jordans, iPads, Gucci, right? So they don't have any character. So why should I? This is me. Hey, how your feelings is yours, guys. We gonna have an open discussion tonight. No dissing, no yelling. That's not what I'm on tonight, right? Why would I, right, give them the slack to say, okay, your parent did you and you didn't learn, when they can tell me to my face, right? We're the fastest learning generation. We have information at our fingertips. Anything we want to know, we can get at the drop of a dime. There's no excuses, SB. The problem is we allow these excuses. We allow it. And listen to what I'm saying. Your feelings or feeling a certain way about somebody going, they're not without reason. But does that affect change? Does that help that person move forward? Or does it keep them in a pity party of where they at?
You're definitely right about the reasoning part. No, it keeps them. It's not even a pity party. I think a lot of them just haven't come into that. Okay, what we did is we substituted. We took away discipline. There's no. Our children are basically. We added material things instead of discipline. Some would call it character, but they don't know how to think their way through things. It's all about them. There's no connection. There's no connection to anything. And it's like what you said, we gave, they're very entitled. I understand what you mean, though. Your consequences in your life should definitely show you different. That we need each other. But you're saying they have a reasoning. They should have reasoning that would say this is not how it's supposed to be. But then you have a group of people saying to them that your reasoning is so far off because if it's not this way, and this way, it's not right. You know what I mean by that? What I mean is this. Yes, sir. Your reasonings are you by men. You're supposed to be an authority. You're supposed to be head of the household. You have an example of a dad and a mom. You grew up in a family like that. You grew up in a nuclear family. Now you need to find your wife. But if she ain't fit, feminine, and friendly, and submissive to you, and she's that, then she's not right. So where's my reasoning coming in at now? Because I'm already entitled. And guess what? I got my standards and I got my preferences, and I am not going to, let any part of that go. So where's the reasoning coming in to the part? I mean, am I even looking at myself and say, hey, you know what? You tripping a little bit. This ain't really real.
Who does?
I agree with that. I agree, but I'm basing it on what you said. You're saying the reasoning should kick in, but you got a whole world over here of people that are telling them that reasoning ain't really necessary. You get what you want.
Facts, and I can only judge by my own standards and expectations.
Right.
Like I ain't gonna get into my story. I had nothing when I was young. I had nothing. I didn't have any stable relationships. The ones that were toxic. They were toxic. But again, like I said, as a grown person, you gotta I don't understand who didn't have those sessions with themselves when they was alone or going through something or just reevaluating the things they saw when they were younger. And as an adult, you'd be like, man, that was messed up. Right? Because you don't have the understanding as a child. You just don't. Right. I look back in my past, long time ago. Right. Stuff my mother did, but the story she told me was off. Now I'm like, what? Right. Same with my grandparents, my brothers, my sisters, everything. Because you don't have the discernment back then as a child to evaluate it as a grown man. Right. And I need y'all to understand where I come from, right? I come from a stance of men being men at all times, even when it doesn't benefit you. Even when you don't, even when I know there's not a reward on it, on the end of it, at the end of the day, I'm a stand as a man. right? A man, we all hear my understanding of a man is to provide for his family and sacrifice when it's time. Right. So if you don't look at it from that standpoint, you would never understand where I'm coming from. Right. So when I speak of marriage, when I speak of that, my wife is not a hindrance. She's my responsibility. I'm responsible for her. Is she responsible for me? Yes, but not in the same faction. You see what I'm saying? Not in the same sense. Right. So I just think, again, if especially our people, right, who claim to be the fastest learning, the most educated, the quickest to adapt, that's not true. Because the simplest things we got to get right, we can't do it. We can't.
So listen to this, guys. I want y'all to respond to this because this is where we're going. And this is an issue with women. Sugar Bum, and Sugar Bum is our number one troll. Well, Sherelle is my girl. Sugar Bum is my number one troll too. But anyway, Sugar Bum says you don't need a husband to have children. Don't be slow.
How's that working out?
Don't be slow. Okay, Sugar Bum. See, this is a message. This is okay. We now have this entitlement that is out there, has told people, young folks, that they can be anything they want to be. If they were born a man, they can now be a woman. They can be in any type of relationship they want to be in. Everything is good. You know, it's good. We don't have any issues. You can have whatever you want. You can have a child and no husband or what have you, but you still got to have the man in order to produce this. This is okay. This is what I mean by this entitlement. She knows that doesn't make sense. She knows that it's not good to have a child outside of the nuclear family. We also know that things happen, but she knows better. She knows better to raise the most productive child. They need that balance. She absolutely knows better, but she still wants to put this out here in this air for people to hear. Now, Sugar Bum, you probably are a smart young lady, but you know, people, and I read it, people are hearing that message, and not just you. We even got women out here telling other women to abort or delete Black babies. So we also know, and yes, guess what? I really don't care what context she had it in. It doesn't really matter. To have a thought like that is still just way off. So again, that's what we come into where we think is entertainment, but it's actually being a very informative message to see these young people that don't have a clue. And that's what they're taking away. Look, let them be in one bad relationship with a man. Let them suffer one trauma. And this is what their thoughts are. And like you said, Ricky, you're going to people that are not in marriages, or not been in successful marriages, and you're getting your information. So I got one more video. That brings me to this last video. What Mr. Boss want me to do the super chats first, I think. Can you put them on this side? Okay. Dre, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. And he says, marriage is a covenant with sacrifice. No one wants two people have to die to self and become one. People are leaning to their own understanding, not God. Absolutely, Dre. But listen, Dre, this is a message right here that only a few people talk about. Ricky, myself, Black Man Unfiltered, Bolo. It's a few, but you can find a whole lot of channels and different places to go to find out that business, that marriage is a business. See, we putting out wrong information, and half of those people are probably not married. Again, thank you, Dre, for your $2 super chat. Raised kids with no accountability, blame others. You're right. You're right. No, I'm not doing that. I do know that in my generation, we got some entitled children. I mean, they expect exactly what you have and don't want to put any work for it. Thank you again, Dre, for your $5 super chat. He said, Ricky cooking tonight, made a vow to be better than my dad. Absolutely. People know right from wrong, kids included. They've seen examples, both good and bad. Look, we have an argument about this. I agree with you. I think that's something God innately put it in us, right and wrong. But that is an argument because people have said that, let me get it right, nurturing can overcome nature. Y'all think about that. What you grow up in, what you see every day, what you live in can actually supersede what's in nature. What God has given you can supersede it and totally change your mind on what is true. I don't believe that, but some are arguing with me, telling me that it can. Be Love, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and thank you so much for being here. Big Ant, what's going on with you? Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. He said, hey, SB and Ricky and Ronan, thank y'all for being here. And listen, we're gonna get into this conversation. If y'all have something additional to add, make sure you're gonna hit the link when Mr. Boss puts it out. Come on up. We want to hear. We definitely want to hear. Ebo, thank you so much for being here. And thank you again for your $4.99 super chat. Men of our cloth rest in accountability. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Now we're gonna go to another video, and Miss Shahrazad Ali, she's speaking to our ladies. So I need y'all to hear this really quick.
We want from our men costs money. Everything they want from us just costs us to have a better attitude or a smile. That don't cost us nothing, but we withhold it because it don't go like our fairy tale version of how the relationship's supposed to go. We're sick people. It ain't just him that's got problems. We got problems too. And we the mother. Like I say, we have them before anybody. So if we want a better man, we have to raise a better man. We're working for the future. Because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
All right, guys. Oh, you heard that. Working for the future is where we need to be, because working for the present, we have no progress. I believe that wholeheartedly. But can we see? I'm gonna say women, because I know we are the ones that have a problem seeing down the street around the corner. Men have no issues. The men that I've dealt with in my life, they have no issue seeing the bigger picture. But we as women, we do. We can't see 10 years down the road. If you ain't got it today, you ain't hit no ish. Y'all know how it go. So help me out with this. What y'all think about what Miss Ali has to say? Ronan, you go ahead.
I like to hear it again.
You want to hear it again? Let's hear it again.
We want from our men costs money. Everything they want from us just costs us to have a better attitude or a smile. That don't cost us nothing, but we withhold it because it don't go like our fairy tale version of how the relationship's supposed to go. We're sick people. It ain't just him that's got problems. We got problems too. And we the mother. Like I say, we have them before anybody. So if we want a better man, we have to raise a better man. We're working for the future. Because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
All right, y'all. We're working for the future. That's I think that's one of our major problems right there. We nobody's looking at the future and where this thing is going, because when we continually have these relationships that consist of same sex, we got to understand that this is not a growing situation. Two men cannot create a child. Two women cannot create a child. And if this is the direction that we're going in, and we love the liberation of it or what have you, then we will not continue growing and existing the way that we are now, period. We're going to die away. Y'all already know that. Our numbers are already low. How many Black people are there in the United States now? What, 19 million? Is that right? 13 million? What is the number? It's not very high. So again, I think this is another one of our big issues. How do we get our younger folks, I'm saying anybody under 35, to see that there is a future and a bigger picture?
Be the example. I say be the example. There's just too many people who look for confirmation bias on their negative narrative. There's too many people looking for an excuse, a way out. Instead of being a parent, stop being your children's partners. When it comes to like having a relationship, stop renting and leasing respect. Start earning it. Learn how to talk to each other. But most people want to get in a relationship, they don't have a healthy relationship with themselves first.
Mr. Milner said we have 46 million Black people in the United States. I'm gonna have to look that up, because that definitely number has grown. Let's see. Look that up.
Yeah.
So you just think that, okay, so how do we get the message out that, oh, it is, it says 47.2 million. Oh my goodness, it has grown 30% since 2000. Yeah, we've grown.
There's still a lot of baby making going on.
It is still a lot of baby making going on. We wanted to continue to go on because we don't want to be non-existent though. Because I think, well, if you count the other minorities, and I hope that I did look up black people. I hope that wasn't just black and brown. I hope that was just, but that's it is growing. You're right, 47 million. I thought it was like 19 million. So we're doing good. We're doing good as far as that. But we have to keep this going because let's look at the future. Let's look at another 20 years from now. If we are going to continue with allowing our children to choose who they are, their elective surgeries, all this entitlement that we've given, y'all know this is not going to go on this way. Things are going to change.
Yeah. Especially when they start growing or reproducing in other ways. It's not too far off.
Okay, how would that even happen?
Well, they're getting ready to start to show some technology to start incubating children.
Oh, you mean, the womb, the fake womb. Oh my goodness. Okay. Golly. I don't even want to think about that though.
But this is what we're looking at. You have some guys talking about having relationships with sex dolls. Same thing with women. And you got people who don't know how to talk to each other nor themselves. So the further we get separated apart, they're going to find an alternative. That's not going to be beneficial for us.
So you're saying that is the alternative to the nuclear family? You just came up with the first answer for tonight. That's the alternative. That's one of them.
I don't see it as an alternative. I mean, that's tragic. That's tragic.
I mean,
what were you saying, Ricky?
The people, like corporations, follow the request of the people, right? So the people are already conditioned for it. Virtual reality, sex dolls, right? In vitro pregnancies.
Wait a minute. In vitro, you mean having a carrier, having someone that you haven't had? Okay.
Yep. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Everybody I know 3 people that had artificial that women had artificial inseminations, and none of their kids ain't right.
What you mean, Ricky? Mentally? Oh.
None of their kids right. None of them. And if you've seen it, great. But I know 3 couples and none of them kids is right. Right. I think again, the problem is that people believe that the future will never get here. We all waiting on the end of the world, right? Every single one of us. We all waiting on the end of the world. Right. See, but people think, I think the best example that we had recently is the the vid, right? Everybody, no one knew what was happening tomorrow, right? People move different.
They sure did.
Right. But once you have that I ain't gonna even say fear, that purpose, right? Because we had that purpose back in the 50s and 60s. Our people had that purpose because, blacks were being racially profiled and segregation things. We had that purpose, right? Again, the thing is, our people don't see a need with each other.
No, they don't.
Right? And
they don't.
And let me say something before you go, right? So looking at it like this. Sugar Bum, it's not picking on Super Bum. What's up, boo? Right? She said a man is not necessary for children. That's a fact, right? That's a fact. You can have you can get pregnant or get sperm from a sperm bank or whatever, however you want to do. Right? But which one is it? I think everybody knows for a child to be raised responsibly and be productive, or I should say have a better chance of being productive and responsible, it's best to have 2 parents. Right? I think that's best. I think that's simple math. I don't know I believe that's a fact of life. Right? So if you think it's okay, and if you do, that's your business. I ain't gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna be responsible for your child as long as he don't shoot me in the street. Right? If that's okay and a man's not necessary, your child is not going to get the full rearing that's needed for him. Just like if a child didn't have their mother, they would not receive the lessons from both sides of the table. And that's why we continue to be in the problems we're in. A bunch of single parents raising kids who, instead of having a man to discipline them, or a man they can count on, as I like to say, pull their children's coattails and let them know what's going on, right? We substitute it for what? Parties, clothes, technology, money. And we get the very people that give us this rhetoric of what could and can't be done, and what's right and what's wrong, when everybody know what's right and what's wrong. And that's a problem. Just like today, they're trying to redefine what's right and what's wrong.
Yep. Trying to redefine everything. Right, wrong, marriage, traditional, woman, man. They want different. And I think I heard, I ain't gonna go in there. But anyway, listen, but make sure, because she's gonna have an argument. So let me make sure we got this understood correctly. Ricky, she said husband. She understands that even the sperm at the sperm bank comes from the man. Now, if they've started creating sperm now, we in trouble. I need y'all to understand, if they've started creating sperm, we are in trouble. But she understands that part. She was saying it doesn't take a husband to create the baby. You don't have to, a woman doesn't have to be married to have a child. But she knows better than that. She knows, just like you said, she knows that's not the best environment for a child. We got to stop with that. We got to stop with that nonsense. Why? You know what? I got to say this really quick, and then we're going to go over here to Dr. Steele. Why is it? I was looking at a channel a week or so ago, and someone made a comment, and his comment came, what I took away from his comment is that Black people really are low value, and that's all that we deserve. Yeah, we're low value. Anything that is in order, decent, discipline, show some sort of elevation, upwardly mobile, is for the white man. And everything that we do, it represents low value. Now, there's going to be some people out here in this conversation who's going to know and heard exactly what I heard, because I actually did a super chat and said it, because I couldn't believe that another Black man was saying that as Black people, we don't deserve anything but something of low value. If we're doing something more different, trying to be better, trying to be business owners, put our kids to schools, doctors, nurses, whatever it is that they want to do, just trying to accomplish something, it is not of us. It belongs to someone else to do that. We're trying to be something else. I just couldn't believe that that's the thought of what a Black man would carry. But we got to deal with that too, because that is a thought of a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot, but I think that is a thought of some Black individuals, that Black people shouldn't be doing certain things. If we're doing it, we're trying to copy what the white man is doing or has done.
Sermon is key.
Huh?
Sermon is key.
I don't know. It was real though. He said it. But Dr. Steele, go ahead and tell us what you have to add to this. What is a better alternative? And I say better, and I'm saying better because even though Sugar Bum has mentioned that it doesn't require a husband to have a child, having one out of wedlock is not better than having a nuclear family. We already know, or we're beginning to examine, that the nuclear family is very, very important to the growth of our children. I must say, growing up, I didn't really think it was. But you don't even think and realize how much it impresses on a child. You really don't know how much mentally it plays on your children when that relationship or that bond that Ricky has talked about, that covenant that we've talked about, is broken. And they have to change everything they know as a norm and relearn things and figure out how to cope in today's society. We have no idea. But go ahead, Dr. Steele.
Well, personally, I don't think there's no alternative. I'm being honest with you. First, let's look at the couple. God and love supposed to be at the centerpiece of a marriage. Now, true, wedding vows doesn't mention love, but there are so many scriptures that says for men to love their wife. Love, supposed to be the main purpose of a marriage. Now, let's bring a child into the picture. Both parents play the role in raising the child. The child is supposed to be, the two people's legacy. it is not enough for somebody somebody to get produced from two people in order to be a legacy. In order to be a true legacy, you're teaching that child how to represent you. Represent you as a couple. You're representing the family. You're teaching the child the ways. Now, I'm an example of one who was raised in a nuclear family. It makes a big difference. My mom, she taught me how to cook. She taught me how to clean the kitchen, clean the house, do my laundry, iron, and everything. While my dad taught me how to cut the grass, to barbecue. He taught me how to drive. Both parents have to play the role. Now, to the single parents, specifically single mothers, if you look at most of them, you see the results, right? You see how our young men have become from the single mothers. Not all of them, but most of them. Also, I want to say this. Let's say I have a daughter, okay? There are only so many things I could teach her. I could teach her how to properly vet a man. I could probably teach her, the essentials of character. And since I know how to cook, I could probably teach you how to do that too. However, I cannot teach her how to use feminine products. I do not know anything about women's hairstyles, how to fix them. I don't know anything about how to put on makeup. I can't teach her those things. The mother can, because the mother is also female. The mother can teach her those things much better. So this is just one of the examples why both the mother and the father are important when it comes to rearing a child.
They absolutely are. And I think everybody knows that. I just think this is just a way to taunt something that God has created, actually. Everything that is good, people want to come against. And a marriage is a good thing. Becoming one of one flesh with another individual and he having your back and trust to get through this world that we live in, it's a good thing. It was a comment here a minute ago where a young lady said, and I'm sorry, I don't recall the young lady's name, but she said, men have to be pretty responsible in order to raise children or raise kids. You're exactly right. But as a woman, hopefully you are going to be married to your husband. And if you don't see that you both are responsible enough to carry out raising children, please don't have any. See, that's another thing that we're missing. That's another huge part that we're missing. Sometimes we get into relationships and right away we're having children. Now, some would say that's what you're supposed to do. I would say not, because you do need to set a foundation. You have to grow with your man. Like I think I heard Ricky say, Ricky, I may be quoting you wrong, but we don't just come in here perfect. We adapt to each other and we become who we are. We become one with each other. It's not something that you just come in the door and it's done. I think you have to set your foundation. I don't think, and I absolutely know that kids are a major distraction, y'all, and they're very expensive and it could be very hard on a relationship. So it's not only the man's responsibility. See, our mindsets need to absolutely change. It's not only the man's responsibility to raise a child. It's our responsibility as a couple, a husband and wife, as one, to make sure we raise good, productive children. And if we don't see that our life is reflecting that outcome, stay away from it until you can actually do it. But Dr. Steele, do you have anything else you want to add? We'll go ahead and let you down and bring up some other people. Hopefully we have dropped the link in the comment section. But go ahead, say your last words, sir.
Yeah, right quickly. I remember one thing my dad, tell me. He told me, if I get a girl pregnant, I'm going to have to help her raise it. And I truly and I truly believe that. That's why I stayed away from sex so long, because all that time I'm not ready to put a child on this earth. I'm not ready to take care of it. Yet we have all these men just planting their seeds into these women at random, unprotected, and then they turn right around and run away from their responsibilities. And that's supposed to be their divine responsibilities as a man, to be the leader of the family, and those pumper and dumpers run away from it. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. And thank you so much for being here. Let me do these super chats. So we're going to bring Ekene up. We're going to get back into it. Marcus, what's going on, Marcus? It's good to see you. She's forever the GOAT. Yeah, yeah, she is. Miss Ali. Marcus, again, for your $2 super chat. And hello to the big three. And Travis Rudolph is found not guilty. God, I forgot to mention that at the start of the show, y'all. They found him not guilty. We're going to talk about that for just a minute. I am so glad that they found him not guilty, but it's now time to reverse those charges and go after the girl and make sure they charge her with murder.
Liars, they liars.
They got to charge her with murder, y'all. I should say deletion. They got to charge that young lady with deletion. I know y'all been saying that it needs to be conspiracy, but there is a law. I hope it is in this state where if a person dies in the commencement of a felony, then anybody involved in that felony will be charged with murder. And I hope Florida, is he in Florida? Are they in Florida? I think it is Florida, isn't it? I'm not sure where they at, but I hope wherever they at, they have that law, because homegirl set it all up. Because if it wouldn't have been for her, that young man that did get deleted, it wouldn't have happened. It's more than conspiracy, y'all. It's more than conspiracy. But anyway, Fat Boy for Life, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. He says, salute to the panel. Thank you. Sugar Bum. Thank you, Sugar Bum, for your $1.99 super chat. Being married is a badge of honor. Oh, thank you, Sugar Bum. I knew you knew that. And you may not have to 35 to make that decision. Girl, go ahead and put yourself out there and get you a good husband. You know what, too? This is funny, y'all. I'm just picking at her right now. But I bet the way Sugar Bum, you see how Sugar Bum be going crazy over here in these comments. I bet she'll had the best husband ever. You know what I mean? Just do everything for. He'll be an excellent man. And I can't get her to say, look, I just know that she will have an excellent husband. I'm putting that out there in the air so she can have a good husband. So she can come back up here and she can come on camera with me. And then she can give her testimony, and I can pat her on the head and be like, go ahead, Sugar Bum.
Sugar Bum knows she got a husband sitting in a bed next to her. She get up and make waffles and turkey bacon and everything.
She laying up on them. She laying up on them right now. Sugar Bum, you think we don't know what you got going on? We already know.
They're rubbing his crunchy feet right now.
She is. Thank you, Sugar Bum. She said not. Okay. She's gonna be the example. I promise you. Kevin C, what's going on with you? Thank you so much for your $75 Honduran dollar. That low value statement about Black people relates the decades long Black pathology argument. It's used to label Black people as the bad race. Yeah, I understood, and I can understand what you're saying, but this came from a Black man. Wouldn't you want to separate yourself from that and be better than what somebody else has put up on you? And you probably heard it too, Kevin. It kind of seems like to me you was there. I don't know for sure, but I think I might. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for your support on the channel. Listen, we need more of you all supporting the message of marriage, the nuclear family, people who have good examples and who are real examples of what the nuclear family really is and what being married is really about. We understand that you come to YouTube and it is entertainment. And we try to bring some sort of entertainment factor to you, but we absolutely know, I know that your attention span ain't but so long. I get it. But sometimes we got to really want to have real conversation. And I know Ricky and myself and Ronan, God knows Ronan, we go deep a lot of times. Everything about what we say ain't always, funny and comical. And, it's not always a hangout. We want to actually leave something with you guys. Even when we're on the cruise season, we want to leave something with you all. We really do. We don't, we don't just want to be up there for the entertainment factor. But we do, but then we still want y'all to hear what we're saying and know that there's an alternative or a different way of looking at life, because yeah, it's real. It's getting real. And we've all lived a certain life and continuing to do so. But we also know that it's not always easy. And the things that you're after, I don't know if they can be obtained, like 6 figures, 6-pack. I mean, really, nothing is authentic about that. Nothing.
Or realistic. And when we get on the panels, I say, I guess for the three of us and a number of others, we take accountability of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We want to see results, solid results from people, because there's other people who are going through things in real time. So it's not, we can have entertaining conversations, but we know people go through real life things. And our main problem is we keep exalting ourselves as God and running relationships into the ground because of that.
You know what? I think I try so hard on the women because I already know when you get a man that is good to you, you need to be able to recognize it. That's the part that pushes me. They need to stop with this craziness. You need to be able to appreciate when your husband has asked you to marry him. You got all these women in the world, right? And you got a good man, good looking man to you, attractive, he good to you or whatever. He comes and approaches you and say, "Can I marry you?" Then he takes you and then y'all walk this plan out, and then he buys you this big old house or this nice car, and he makes sure you good. Y'all might not get along every day, but we need to be able to see that this is happening. And it seems like this day and time, we would be able, these women, this day and time, will look at a man and be like, "That's what you supposed to do." No, he could have left you in the shack or that 2-bedroom apartment that you was in. That's what could have happened. That's what could have happened. So I need y'all to recognize when something has happened that is different and good. I need y'all to be like, "Oh, I'm that girl." And I don't think they understand that. Not everybody gets to be that girl.
I want to. Sugar Bum said, "Women aren't asking for 6 figures, just don't be broke." I agree. And let me tell you what I think happened. Right? See, my personal opinion. This is not fact. This is not a scientific absolution. Right? My opinion is that most women can't think anything up themselves. Right? They took that 6-pack. Listen to what I'm saying. They took that 6-pack, 6 figure. They took that from a man. Men set that standard, saying that was a high value man, that men were saying that this is a man of value, that for him to be of value, he has to hit these criteria. Tell me I'm lying.
You're not lying. You're not lying at all. But when I hear this, I'm like, where do I fit in? What do I fit in? I want a man with something going wrong. It's something. Because guess what? How he going to appreciate me if I can't help it with nothing? I got to be able to make sure he got good skin on his bald head. Make sure his skin is supple or something. I got to be able to have something to contribute to this man to just to feel like I'm wanted. If he got all of this going on and there's no need for me, then why am I here? What are we missing? Anthony, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How you guys doing today? Hey.
Doing well. Go ahead, sir.
Ronnie.
Hey, what's good, man?
Ricky? Hi, boss lady. Okay. This is one thing that I think is this, right? Based on what Ricky just said. I think what they did is that they picked what they wanted to pick out of those assertions. You see, they picked something out. There are other things that go with high value man. One of the things that go with the high value man is, number one, he has to also have you knowing that you should know very well that he has leverage. He can exercise options. They don't want to talk about that one. In fact, they get mad about that. They get mad about the fact that he has options, but they want the 6 figure, but they don't want the options. So that's what the assertion is. if you're going to accept the six, 7 figures, right? You're also going to accept the exercise of options that he's going to come with. So, yes, we always, as humans, going to pick what we want to pick from whatever is said. It's very not every, and also remember that it is said that men of high value take or will accept certain level of women. They will want certain level of women. They will want women that have certain kind of quality. Education is not necessarily one of the options that they want. But those women get mad because you said education is not part of it. Her fitness is also part of what he wants. They get mad because he wants a girl that is not big, right? So those are, they know what they're doing, but the thing is that they're trying to see what they can get away with by getting a man that they cannot attain.
But Ekene, that's not a real thing either, because I happen to know a woman will definitely date a man and he don't have to have 6 figures. I absolutely know it every day, all day. A good man does not have to have 6 figures. This is another message that Ricky began with by saying we're talking to people or we're listening to people who are not married and we're letting them dictate what it is that is a requirement of marriage. Hello, Prototype. How are you? And I'm giving you just a second. That's another one of those things because it's not even, I hate to say this, y'all, but back in my day, when I was dating, I know y'all gonna say, yeah, you had your type, but I really didn't have a type. I just needed to be attracted to him. Does that make sense? It didn't have to be a six foot guy. It didn't have to be a guy with a 6-pack. He didn't have to be a rich man. Actually, a rich man was like, what? We was 20 something years old. What was rich? What was that about? No. It was, those things were never required. And guess what? The reality of it is now they're not required now either, but it is something that's going on to keep y'all single. Not you, as because I know you're married, but to keep people single. This is a standard. This is what we're putting in front of to say, okay, this got to be this way and this way, or it's not going to happen. That is not a real thing. That is not a real thing. It is not a real thing.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy that most of us know that it's a fantasy. But the thing is this: some people love Hollywood. Some people love to watch movie, and they believe that they're going to be watching movie the rest of their lives. You see the problem?
Watching movies.
So they're never going to get out of that movie. So they know that they will never attain this. You cannot get better than your baby daddy, right? Meaning that if your baby daddy wasn't a 6-figure,
says who?
Wait a minute, now listen. Come on, my sister Diana. She done gave me the fire. Listen, y'all. This says who? Go ahead and
who?
Answer that question. Who says who? We got 1% of our men that are over $100,000.
No, where do you find that in nature?
Okay, this is how what nature. This is where nature puts it in. Forget the fact that we are going against nature today, and some of us, very intestinal of us, get through it, but most of us will never go through it. You know why? Because nature tells you this: if you, as a person, has a child by somebody else, for you to attain a higher level is very difficult. If you look at before all this 20th century thing that came to be, right? Most women, when they have a child, they might never be able to get married at all. You see what I'm saying?
I don't agree with that. Listen, Ekene, I don't agree. I don't agree. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you something. I hear what you're saying, and I do know that may be the outcome for some. But even if a man is looking for a wife, and I know some of y'all gonna be like, oh no, a man is looking for a wife. She could be a single woman with no children, or she can be a single woman with a child. You better still be checking that woman. The fact that she has a child should not take her out of being a wife. You can still come up with a dud single woman that will do you no good as your wife. She's not even a wife. She may meet all those standards that you've put out there, all those preferences that you put out there, and still be a dud. That's how you know it's not a real thing. I understand. Listen, I totally understand putting parameters out there so you can make the best decision. I agree with that totally. But if you still can actually run into someone that is a dud, that has no children, fit, feminine, beautiful, submissive, play, all of that, and she be a terrible wife. That's what we're saying. This is where the organic thing comes in. This is where being real comes in. It's not going to all fit inside. You can't check all the boxes when it comes to picking your wife. You'll fall off a cliff. You can't do it. If you do it, it is not genuine. It's not going to be a real thing, because as soon as anything falls apart, or as soon as something else is displayed that you didn't check, or something you checked, you thought you had, then it turns out to be not what you had. Now you're trying to get rid of her. So guess what happened then? Your marriage was not a covenant marriage. It was actually a business agreement. So now what do you have? But Ekene, think about what I just said. I'm going to go over here to Prototype, but I want you to give me an answer to that question, Ekene, if you have one. Are there better alternatives to the nuclear family? But just hold on 1 second.
I'll give you that.
Prototype, what you think about that?
Are there better alternatives to the nuclear family?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not, man. That is the single solution to our community. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way around it. Nuclear family is the way, the only way. We can't get anything like economics. None of this can be fixed until we get that fixed first.
Correct.
So most of the time we're just talking to nobody. You know what I mean? Because it's all pointless. I think the problem comes into now that the women are so removed, they're not so interested in the nuclear family, because now it's like I got money, I don't need no man, or I could date the man I want instead of the man I need. You know what I mean? I think it's the man has to take full accountability for bringing back the nuclear family. It's not going to be on the women. Like, the women are going to choose their best options at whatever that might be. So men have to be the best option.
So are you saying that women are driving this this dating scene that we're experiencing right now? You think women? Okay.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I don't even know how to answer that one. No, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay, so why would you say so? If the men are driving these cars, which they are, which I think they are, what do they need to do in order to get back in the line with, reaching the goal of the nuclear family?
I think first we need to recognize that it's our problem to solve. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of men don't understand that fixing the community is our problem to solve. Like, a lot of us come from single parent homes, and we're happy with the 50-50. We're happy with the just all kind of things. Being submissive, not leading the way we should, or blaming women for any of our problems, or that was her, or she did it, or I hear plenty of men say that sometimes, and it's like ridiculous. So I mean, the community, though, fixing the community, that's our problem. And the nuclear family is also the man's problem.
Go ahead, Ronan.
To the Prototype's point, we have to remember we're the gatekeepers of relationships.
Say that once more.
We're the gatekeepers of relationships, and we have to take the bar off the ground. We allowed anything just to get access to easy sex at a great cost. So once we'll move the bar or set the standard back up again and qualify certain people, things will shift. That's what I said. Like, the community, you have to set the standard as a leader and a head, and not just accepting mediocrity. That's my personal opinion.
So let me say this, Fat Boy for Life. Let me just say this, because I want you to actually hear what I'm saying. He says, date single mothers. He says, and marry them. Okay, so listen, this is what I'm saying. I need for you to get the best woman that could be the best wife you can absolutely find. The best woman for you. And whatever that looks like. Make sure that relationship is authentic. Make sure she loves and respects you and is willing to submit to you, whatever that looks like. Now, if that looks like a woman who has a child, and you can definitely check out the circumstances and see how that child came here, or whatever the situation is, and you make that decision. I'm not telling you to go after a woman who has a child, a single mother. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm saying, even in dating any woman, single, single with a single mother, whatever the situation is, you have to choose that woman wisely. And if you just totally take women who have children out of the picture, you may be missing a wife. Now, I am saying that, but I'm not telling you to go get you a single mother. I'm not telling you to do that. But, you know, you could see it. I just want to make sure you understand what I'm saying, because I don't want you to take what I'm saying and totally put it in a different direction. Because guess what? I myself was a single mom for a time. Now, look, I'm not doing no white flag for single mothers. There could be some issues there. I need for y'all to look out for them. But there could be a woman that has a child or had a child, and the situation is whatever it was, and she is an excellent wife and could be that for you, and absolutely knows the order in which a marriage is built upon, meaning God, Jesus, husband, woman, and children. And if she understands that, she is and can be a wife. But if you get a single woman and all she is fit, feminine, and friendly, and she play submissive until she gets you, and then you ain't gonna ever be able to satisfy her because she was all of that, then what do you have? Now you have an arrangement or a business agreement, because she never knew anything about being married or being a wife in the beginning. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh, he says, I don't mind single mothers. What I'm saying, if we are to fix community, we have to father in those homes. I understand. You do. We have to do whatever it is, what's best for us. Look, I want y'all to have your best. I really, really do. So I'm not telling you to go out here and just find a woman with a bunch of kids. I actually don't even tell women who have more than one child to even date until a particular time. Y'all have heard me say this before. A woman that has 2 kids or more, I think that she shouldn't date unless those kids are a certain age. If they're anywhere between 7, 8, 9, 10, I say don't do it. Wait till those kids get a certain age before you actually bring someone into their lives. You should definitely be promoting the relationship with their fathers, not necessarily with you as a woman, but with them. They need to know their children. You know, their children, they need to know their dads. Brown eyes, what's going on with you? They need to know their dads. So again, there's an answer for this thing. We just need to put it in motion, and we need to stop always pushing that perfect narrative on individuals, because believe it or not, Ekene, people listen and believe what we say. So if we continue with the message of you want a high value man, and women, like you just said, women with 3 and 4 kids talk about they need a man make $250,000 or what have you, and they actually looking for that man. Come on. That's a terrible message, because it's not going to happen. We already know that. They know that too. So why wouldn't we? What is that? Why are we even saying those things though? Why is that even a goal? Oh, I guess it could be some sort. No, that is not a goal. That is unreal.
I think that they say that to price themselves out, because they know they can't either be what they need to be, or they don't want to be what they need to be. You know what I mean? So for them to be something they don't want to be, then it's going to have to be some type of wild number of perfection of a man that he's going to have to be for her to be submissive, because she knows she's not. Or she
so you're saying for her and her 3 kids, you need to make some random man that just coming into this situation needs to make $250,000 to take care of us.
Well, she need a reason why she's single too, right? You know what I mean? So that's her outpricing herself. You know, instead of taking the blame and looking at herself and being like, I'm single because of XYZ, it's I haven't found a man that makes $1 million a year. You know what I mean? So
right, but you got at least one father. There's one person that delivered some babies, right? Produced some babies. At least one. We don't know the situation, but it's got to be one man that you could have married. At least one.
I think she could have married all of them.
I mean, that's okay, but we creating a story now that she had 3 different baby daddies. I don't know that. I'm not gonna give her all that. I'm just saying that there's opportunities there for women to actually be married to good men. But it seems like they're not even giving them an opportunity, because someone has told them.
There is something that I said today to some group of panels. I said to them this. I said this. If a woman has a child or has 6 kids by one man, she did it out of love or out of the premise that he was going to marry her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She did it because there was something dangling on her face. So there was an act that were going on, and she thought she was going to end up with this man. But if she has 2 baby daddies or more, no, she did it for the money. She did it either because she's lazy or because of the child support, or mostly because of the child support that was coming in through having those kids. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the law. This is the law, right? If you have 2 or more kids by somebody, by the same person, the child support is usually small. But if you have 2 or more kids by two men or more, right, the child support is usually bigger because each of them can pay anything from $350 or up. So just imagine 350 times how many kids you have by different daddies, right? It's more money coming in. So that is why you see a lot of them will have multiple kids by multiple daddies because they are getting a lot of money a month. So it's more of economic calculation than love calculation.
I think
so.
I don't think it's love, but I definitely don't think it's.
No, if it's 2 kids or more, it has nothing to do with love.
I don't think it's that either, though.
2 baby daddies or more.
And for the ones that are doing that, that's a very small percentage of women.
So let me ask you a question. So wait a minute. I'm sorry, Prototype. I gotta ask a question because I'm just not understanding. Because Ekene just said that he thinks that. Listen, there was a TikTok video where a woman did say have several babies by several different men, and you could make up to $75,000 a year off of child support. But that would be determined off of how much money these men were actually making. So we need to be honest about this. So if average income for a male is what, $950 a week, or like $3,500 a month, something like that, $40,000 to $50,000 a year, how much would he have to pay for child support? What is the percentage? Does anybody know? Is
20 to 40, about 20 to 40%.
20 to 40% of his weekly income?
Yeah, it's a lot of money for those women.
Hold on. So if it's $900, let's say
20 to 40%.
Okay, I'm gonna say 30%.
Okay.
So it's $270. That would be a month, or is that a week?
No, you're talking about his total paycheck.
So it's $270 a week. I have never, listen, I'm gonna let you know right now. I pay child support for a lot of people. I have paid child support for a lot of people. Right to current time, I'm so happy because I'm not paying child support for anybody, but I've paid child support for a lot of people. And none of the people that have worked for our company that have made up to $40,000 a year, none of them have paid $1,080 a month for child support. I have never sent off a check for $1,080. I haven't. So that is not, and that was based on 30%. That is not happening. That is not happening. Their child support, normally, wait a minute. Normally their obligations look about like $250 a month. That is normally around in there. It's no 238, 250, 274. That all depends if there's arrearages or what have you. Those are the checks that I actually send out per month. That is how it actually looks. I never have paid in child support. And like I said, this is a real thing. $1,080. Let me tell you one other thing. I've also paid out as little as $4 a month in child support. $4. So I don't know if these women are having children. Lord, I pray that they're not having children to get child support. But that lady on that video, she had to have 6 kids in order to pull off that $75,000. She was basing it on some whatever, and that may not be true. So here again, we're talking about information that may not be real, that she's put out there to some woman, some young impressionable girl who maybe is at 3 and is struggling with the 3, that would be willing to have 3 more just because this woman has put out that you get 3 more, you might get 75,000 and you'll be set for the year or to come. See, again, that's another message that some young woman may follow just because another older woman told her that this is something she can do. So Ekene, I'm not sure if women are living off of child support, because even at $1,080, let's just say a young man is paying $1,080 a month for child support. That is a high amount to pay, and he has to live also. But what exactly is she doing with 1,080? What exactly is that accomplishing? That's not doing a whole lot, because he probably can't live off the remainder. So how long is he going to be able to be under these circumstances? It's better to, it's not a good, it's a rotten system. It doesn't work for either party. It's better to get with the woman and try to go half and half on the child. What I mean by that is, I'm going to take care of the child half the time, you take care of the child half the time, and we don't need child support because I'm supporting them half the time and you support them half the time. That's what needs to happen. This is not a good system to direct somebody into and thinking that somebody's going to win, because as soon as your child becomes an invoice, it begins to be very hard to see that child as your child. Very hard.
That's true. That's true, because if you look at it this way, right, that's why we try to discourage people from doing that as an economic basis. Because if you raise a child based on economy, or to siphon somebody or take from somebody, guess what you end up doing? You cause resentment.
Yep.
On both sides.
Okay, I don't know who that is. Did something that just fall? Y'all mute yourselves out if somebody's falling behind you.
Yeah, no, it's in my house. So,
okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that if you, that's why you see a lot of things have gone bad,
right?
Because there's too much resentment from everyone, except the mother that is getting the money. There are people also that have said that they go broke after paying child support. That is a fact, meaning a lot of money is being taken out of those men. A lot of money is being taken out of those men. That is why these men go broke. Somebody's not going to go broke if they're not paying 40% or more or 20% or more of their pay before tax. You see what I'm saying? So it's not good.
I agree with you. I agree. And I think Mr. Milner, hello, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. He just made a comment a minute ago that he had someone that he knew that was paying over 80% of their income to child support. That's a ridiculous system. How can you pay over 80% and then live on your own as a man, or maybe have another wife or what have you? This is crazy. I'm not agreeing with this system in any way. I definitely think
got 4 kids by 4 different moms.
Oh, wow.
I don't agree with the system anyway.
I don't either.
I don't, but it is what it is.
Yes, it is.
But you know how you can avoid those pitfalls?
I absolutely do.
You know how you can, to stop using this as an argument for something that might hurt you? Choose a wife.
Absolutely.
See, it's the answer to everything. It's the answer to everything. Like, at the end of the day, I'm sick of y'all. Because at the end of the day, this what black people do. Like I said before, y'all don't look how you get cut. What y'all look at is what happened. Oh, it's swollen up. It's pussy. It's all infected. When you just didn't have to cut yourself. Right? The reason why child support exists, as messed up as it is, as bogus as it can be, as wrong as you feel it may be, is because men were not being responsible with their families. At the end of the day, is it perverted? Is it being used incorrectly? Is it used as a vice? Yes. But the reason it exists is because men didn't take care of their families. And I'm sick of y'all, because at the end of the day, nobody want to just say, you know what, player, I fucked up. I chose the wrong chick. I got down on the knee. Everybody, all the men say, no woman better not propose to me. No, I ain't marrying no woman. You proposed. You proposed.
You absolutely did.
And let me tell y'all the real truth, right? A woman has no say so when a relationship starts. But when she say it's over, it's over. Let me say that again for y'all in the back. A woman has no say when a relationship starts. But when she say it's over, it's over. So why ain't you taking the time to choose wisely? I'll tell you why. Because she cute.
Oh my goodness.
Because she got that fat booty. She got that squish squash, that juicy.
Thing you like.
Because he desperate.
Right? What y'all don't understand is that men, when it comes to the relationship phase, like shout out to my boy Prototype. When he on. Right? When it comes to the relationship phase, that is men's wheelhouse. Y'all can't escape it. You can't put it off on them. It's you, because until you walk up to a girl and say, "Hey, Miss Lady, how you doing? What's popping with you, shorty?" Nothing happens. Women ain't approaching you. If y'all want to use social media as the litmus, go to It's Complicated or any other. What girls say? How you talk to a man? I look at him. It's up to him to walk over. We're all responsible for what we're responsible for. Stop putting your responsibilities off on the next person. When it comes to that relationship, guys, you're responsible for it. I say it all the time. Be a leader, because at the end of the day, you're going to get blamed for it anyway. You're going to get the blame for it anyway. Oh, that's not right. It's not. Sorry. It's the way it is. The same way, at the end of the day, I tell y'all, if a woman open up her legs to a man that is not a husband, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. It's been that way since the beginning of time. But y'all, I ain't gonna say y'all, I say y'all in general, right? But people, right? I need to start working on my language. People continue to let other people dictate what your relationship is supposed to look like, what your interaction with another human being is supposed to be. I don't do that. I say find the right person, find a good person, and y'all work it out between yourselves. Work it out between y'all. Right? But we all here to do what we all here to do. As men, we're responsible for the relationship. We're responsible for covering. We're responsible for security. You know, all the things y'all say.
Well, Ricky, they don't say that. Now, keep in mind, it's only if you complain. They make the woman responsible for having sex and actually having the baby. And that's a terrible message, because they make men think that once the babies get here, they can actually walk away because they didn't have a say in it. Now, I don't know what it's going to take for men to understand that you don't get to walk away. You must protect yourself. And I think Nurse Fancy said it, and Anissa also said it. You got to protect men. You have to protect yourself if you don't want any children. If you think a woman is going to get pregnant and not come after you, then you're totally have lost your mind. And we have enough examples to see this. But yes, the woman should preserve herself. I tell women all the time, don't have sex with these men unless you're ready to be married. And also if they're not ready to put a ring on your finger. This is what I say all the time. But again, there's a message out there that, hey, look, we didn't have any say to her having sex with us. So once the baby gets here, it's hers. We've heard a man come on here and say this, had 7 kids. He was like, them my babies, but I didn't want them babies. So again, men, y'all got to protect yourselves, because women are going to want child support if there's a baby that comes out of you all having sex.
That gentleman was unique. I mean, well, I'm not going to say he's unique. He was unique in the sense that there are guys like him, but he wasn't necessarily the majority. Matter of fact, so I wanted to speak to something that either Mr. Williams said or Prototype said. I actually had something to add to the black pathology argument. But
yeah, go ahead, Kevin. Hello, and then go ahead.
Yeah, hello, SB. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, go ahead. I just wanted salutations.
To you know, my no disrespect.
No.
But how many? Just a real quick question. When we speak of men, when we're talking about black men abandoning their children, because that's an argument that everybody makes, by the way, not just black people, but everybody. I hear that from non-blacks quite a bit. What is the percentage of you guys? What is the percentage of men who you guys think are doing that? What's the percentage?
I actually want to see where. I mean, we all know that black men are like the best fathers on the planet, like hands down. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to see where you're really going with this argument.
Well, because when people have this conversation, it sounds like this is like some huge problem among Black men, and it really isn't. When you look at the numbers, when you know, I don't even try to have this argument with women because they just ignore the data anyway. It doesn't matter with women. But you know, we got SB up here, and then we got a bunch of men up here. So you know, we already know that we have a situation where it's unfortunate, but we got a lot of Black men who are not married. We got like over 50% of Black men who are not married. They're never married, and they don't have any kids. So these guys are not even part of the problem. And then we got another 33% of Black men who are married, presumably producing kids with their wives, taking care of their kids and their families. That's almost that puts you what, almost 90% of Black men who are not even part of the problem. And when we have this discussion, I don't expect people who are not Black to get it because they don't have the mental span to actually even think that far. But I expect when we have these conversations that needs to be a focus of it and a major talking point, because what happens is it's like we're putting it on the men, and then when I do all the research, then what the research shows me and what the numbers show me, and then what my own observable data and experience shows me is that this is not a man's problem.
Okay, so let me ask.
And then we have this conversation, and then it points back to the women, and then it just gets ignored, and it gets thrown back on the men, as if the women are not participating at all. Which brings me to which I'll go ahead and let you guys answer, but then it'll bring me back to the question I have for Mr. Williams, I believe.
So Kevin, can you do me a favor and ask the direct question? The first, what are we saying is the man's problem exactly? What are we saying is his problem?
Well, okay, it just sounds like we're blaming men for a problem that they're not even participants in.
And what is that problem?
The kids all over the place. It was kind of alluded to or said that the men are abandoning, or what did it make the kids or get out of here, or that's why I said that seven baby guy, the seven baby mama guy, he was an anomaly. Now,
okay, so I wanted to make sure.
But he's a small group of men who are actually doing that versus the majority of Black men.
Okay, so let me say this. I don't know how long you've been here, but we got off into child support by accident. I don't even really know how we got there. It was not something that we were actually talking about. So I want to make sure you understand that. The only thing that we have said that men were responsible for, and Prototype has said this, is that the idea that we're gotten away from the nuclear family, the men are responsible for getting it back in order. Now, that's been the only thing I think of that has been said that is the man's responsibility.
Okay, now, so I have something for that too.
I think he's speaking to Ricky, saying that it's like child support was put in place because men were being trash. But I don't think it was the Black men. I don't think that was made for Black men. I think that was made for all men. Like I said, Black men particularly, we're the best fathers on the planet. That law was made for them other men who gladly leave their family or have some sad kids or whatever, and have the money to just pay it off. Right? That's made for them. We're getting washed up in it. You know what I mean? Because it's seen as, well, that's what I'm going to do. It's a resource for us. Like, you know what I mean? But that wasn't really made for Black men particularly. I think it was just made for those men who are, we all know them other women are the most protected women on the planet. You know what I mean? If it was Black women screaming about, we need money from our men, they wouldn't have put that law in place like that. You know what I'm saying? Other than just to put us back in jail.
So listen, child support legislation was enacted in 1950. So it wasn't all about us. 1950 is when the child support legislation came into play, and it wasn't just about us. But again, Kevin, it almost seems like the bad ones are always the ones that stand out.
Yeah, well, because they get the most attention. But let's get back to the topic.
Okay.
What I actually came up with. Okay, so we've already agreed. Well, at least I heard what you guys already said, and I agree too. There are no alternatives to the nuclear family. It is what it is. You can't get around that. We look at the data. You look at it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a short-term study, long-term study, a survey, a questionnaire. It doesn't matter. The data everywhere says that nuclear family is a foundation for positive life outcomes or better life outcomes for children that are born into this world. All right. So if you go outside of that, then what you're doing is you're setting your kid up for possible negative life outcomes. That's not necessarily a guarantee, stable two-parent homes, but generally speaking, the data says that those two-parent homes actually produce better life outcomes for children. So I don't when they say I know you have the thing where you have like two same-sex people that are married and then they're raising a kid. Okay, fine. I don't want to get into that too much, but I'm just saying, even with that, that's still two people, working together. However they do it, I don't know how that works. I'm just saying, two people working together. I just see it as a stable two-parent home, and they're still raising a kid effectively. All right, so I know there's some other stuff at play, but I'll just focus on that. Now, I think it was either Mr. Williams or Prototype said this, is that okay? And I wrote it down because I wanted to kind of make sure I got the statement right. Okay, so let's just say for the sake of argument, it is men's responsibility to fix the community and to lead the way. And we accept that. Let's just go ahead and say that for the sake of argument. You're absolutely right. Now, what is the woman's role in that, in supporting that task or supporting that mission?
That's a great question.
That's the problem. Mm-hmm.
Either fall in line or get left by the wayside.
You know what, Kevin, let me say this, but Hidden Gems, I'm going to come to you in just a second, but I want to say this at this point. This may be missing me totally. And I know that we're in this space and we hear a lot of negative things, but I just don't think it's that hard for a man to find a woman. I think that outside of this space, YouTube is definitely growing, but we're still asking ourselves or telling ourselves, is this real or is this entertainment? On the outside of this, in my regular life, going to work every day, meeting new people, men and women are getting together. They're dating. They're having relationships. They're laughing. They're having fun. They're moving towards marriage. I'm not saying that YouTube doesn't have a place where they're putting this message out there that women are not wives, but there are examples of good women. And what a woman can do is definitely make herself available as a wife for a man if she wants to be married. That we have to work on ourselves either way. But it's up to a man to find us, though. It's up to men to say they want to be married and go find these women. It really is. And if they're, like Ricky said, if they're not meeting the standards, to keep moving, moving. And
so what does the low marriage rate for Black people tell you about the state of marriage? Overall 30% marriage rate.
I'm saying that men don't desire to be married.
Well, see, this is where I would disagree. Mrs. SB, you know I like you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, you're wrong.
Okay.
Because,
what you got?
Studies have been done, and I wish I could actually quote usually when I do a study, I give you the year and then the short title, and for right now, it actually escapes me. But I know based on that study that I've read, and I've seen it referenced multiple times, that just a little over 20% of Black women actually want marriage, 40% of Black men, over 40% of Black men want marriage. So we want marriage at twice the rate.
I can agree with that. I should have said that differently.
We actually have more. Not only that, Black men we have more Black men that are married than Black women right now. Considering the fact, and you also have to throw in the fact that there are like 2 million more marriageable women because when we say 20, there's 40 million plus of us, but we got to count the women of marriageable age from 18 to whatever, right? That being said, there's 2 million more women, but we still have almost 1 million more married Black men than Black women right now. So everything points to men want to be married more than women. I
can almost believe that. Maybe I should have said it different.
No, that's what it is.
I should have said it.
SB, I support what you said, but go ahead. I support what you said initially, so don't change it.
Okay, no, I'm not going to change it. But what I should have said in this time, in the millennials, they don't want to be married as a group, men and woman, is what I should have said. I should have said it that way. Yeah, that's what I mean. Men and women.
So, let me respond to this.
I don't know
Wait
the
a
core
minute.
group. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, yeah, okay. You might have a point there as it relates to who was actually asked that question. But I'm just going to go with right now, even when you look at the numbers, when you look at the data, when you look at the studies, short-term, long-term, longitudinal, questionnaires, whatever, everything points to men want to be married more than women.
Okay. I can accept that. Let's go to Hidden Gems down here. What do you have to say, sir? And how are you?
What's going on, chat? What's going on, SB, Ronan, Ricky? What's going on, my guy? Lady Di, everybody else. Let me say this, all right? I know the question originally was like, who's responsible for it? I got to say this, it's both, all right? Now, men may have to take the first step, but the women are just as obligated to fix this problem as well, all right? I think a big part of our problem is that parents, adults, elders are not teaching the millennials like we were taught. All right. We got parents leaving it up to a tablet, a screen to teach these kids about being a wife, being in a relationship, being a family. And what happens is, just look at the algorithm. What pops up on YouTube more than anything? You got polarized groups. You got Black women. The most viewed ones are the ones where they're telling them, don't trust no man, take him for what he got, and this and that. And then you got the manosphere, Fresh and Fit, and all this other one talking about don't trust women, treat them like this. This is what you want. And both sides are basically teaching them the worst things about getting together or trying to become a family or find a wife and whatnot. And these are the things that are teaching these millennials. I teach, I mentor, I talk to these kids. They're not watching Family Matters. They're not watching, all them shows that we grew up on that talked about Black families and Black love and how to date, how to, go out there and vet women or men. They're not teaching that anymore. What they're getting taught on is this stuff that we speak against every day on YouTube. It's the most available one, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, or whatever. And I think that our biggest problem is that although we are good fathers, we are some of the best fathers out there. The problem is, what are we teaching? All right. And I think part of it you can learn from Kevin Samuels when he did that video. I don't know how many young men and how many guys my age really didn't know how to clean their tail. You know what I'm saying? Don't think about how to present themselves for women. You know what I'm saying? Don't think about what they need to bring to a relationship on their behalf before they can require something of a woman. And at the other end, you got a lot of women that aren't being taught by their moms how to be women, let alone how to be wives, how to be feminine, what it means to be a mother or a wife in a family. You know what I'm saying? And with all this disconnect as far as being able to get together, we're not teaching our children. We're not teaching the youth. We're not teaching anybody as a whole. Now, I'm not saying people on the panel and others aren't teaching their children, but here's the thing. If we got 10 people teaching, but we've got 100 not, well, who are they going to link up with?
Who are they going to link up with? Who's supposed to be doing all the teaching, sir? Who's supposed to be doing all the teaching?
The adults. Okay, look, here's last time I checked, if you're a kid, you have a mother and a father, and you were either raised by one of them, correct? Now, here's the other problem. Say, for instance, we got a single family home, right? You got a single parent. Say it's your mom, all right? Well, daddy's not around. She should be doing something. The community, and this is also the problem. We don't have a community either, all right? A lot of times when you see single women, hey, what are they doing? A lot of times moms and gave up on them. They're doing their own thing, or they gave up on their parents. They're trying to do things on their own. They don't have anybody to lean to, man or female, all right? And then the ones that they do lean to, are they really trying to help them become a wife? Are they trying to push them to get married? Or are the ones that are reaching out to them the ones telling them to stay single? Work on you, boo. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Become a boss and all this other stuff. Then you got men not taking care of their kids. I'm just saying, there's some, not all, not a large amount, but you got some that aren't taking care of their kids, all right? All right, say even if we wipe them to the side, if we're trying to build a community of families, then others, I can't dictate how much time you spend or how much effort you give, but shouldn't they be coming in trying to help them become more marriageable? Or if they can't help the moms, shouldn't they be trying to guide the kids? If they're not getting what they need, shouldn't they be trying to guide them as well? But we don't have that a lot. And I can't tell you how to do it, but I'm telling you, it's got to be a unified effort. In YouTube, every day I look at this stuff and I see women ain't doing this. I hear people talking about these stats, all right, that they can't give quotes for. And I'm not attacking you, Kev. I'm just saying, all right, there's a lot of people that throw stats and then they can't tell you where. Every time I look up, these stats change. It's 20% today, 40 the next time, 30 the next, 60 the next. And I'm not saying that they're fake, but also, hell, I did polls. I know how polls are run. They go to specific areas in a lot of cases. It's no different from the political ones. They choose where they want to do the polls. All right. You have a choice of where you want to ask people and where you want to find out if whatever research you're trying to figure out is apparent. You know what I'm saying? You'll get a different reading in North Carolina than you will in Texas. Point blank period. You'll get a different reading from Dallas than you would from Houston. So all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, a lot of this just sounds like we're trying to point the finger in a lot of cases, whether it's heavier on the women or heavier on the men. But the truth of the matter is we all got to come together. And I can't put together an exact plan, but I know it's going to take all of us, because if the men pick up the slack, the women will get lazy, and then we'll have more women out here needing to be cared for. All right. But vice versa as well. Yeah.
So Hidden Gems, tell me something. What is well, thank you for being here. And I want you to shout out your channel when you get a moment. But what is the age group that you usually speak to on you have a podcast, correct?
I have one, but really and truly, we just finished school. So I haven't, school year just ended. That's why I'm just now getting on here trying to talk. I have a podcast, but I haven't really been doing much. It's been hectic. I just decided to stop teaching because I was working with high schoolers. I mentor college students and young adults, those out of college.
Okay, so your age group is somewhere between what, 15 and 20?
I'd say about 15 to about 30.
Okay, so listen, you haven't been here the whole time, but the way the show actually started, it was Ricky and I and Ronan. We talked about how in these spaces, people are listening to people that don't have the right information to give them, and they're taking their talking points, and it's making them, they're taking it as their reality, and they're making the situation of being married much more difficult than it really is or really should be, instead of giving the right information. For example, now marriage is a business instead of a covenant. Now, Rick, you help me out some more examples that we had from the beginning that the message was being given incorrectly.
Oh, it's like I was saying, that the messages that a lot of people give is they teaching you how to be single, not how to be in a relationship. Right. Negative reinforcement and things of that nature that make you fearful of something you've never experienced.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how this actually started. We went a couple of different directions, and I'm saying that because a lot of what you're saying was talked about earlier, and we are in agreement with you. A lot of what you said. I just think, far as I go, I'm speaking a little bit more to the millennials, the little 30, 27, or someone said 27 and up. I would say 30 and up, because we as Gen Xers, we actually created an entitlement group. They're very entitled and they're very selfish. So them wanting to be married and sharing their lives with others is a very difficult thing. And that's kind of where we are with it. And we're trying to figure out, so what's the alternative, guys? If you're not going to be married, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? So that's kind of like where we are. But listen, we appreciate you because you're actually going back a whole generation, and this is actually what's best. And you're talking to the ones that are younger, and maybe you can definitely make a difference. But when you come to YouTube, because you mentioned this, are those young people coming to YouTube for entertainment, or are they coming to get real information? Because that's where we got to figure out how to help.
Well, here's the thing. They come to YouTube for entertainment, but here's the problem. Do they really understand the difference between entertainment and reality? Because one thing that I know about this group too, from what I've heard and what I've listened to, is that if you say it enough, it becomes reality to them. All right. Not to mention, I've talked to Ricky about this before, and let's be honest, a lot of the trauma in our community, I won't say a lot, I don't know what percentage or whatever, I'm not going to throw numbers out there, but let's just be honest. A lot of people talk on things that they've never experienced and they don't know about. You hear people all the time talking about, well, I'm not about to let a man cheat on me, and then you find out they've never been done wrong. You got people talking about men beating people over here, but they've never experienced nobody that they know. They've heard from somebody else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they're using it like it's gospel, like it's happened to them. I hate to say this because you shouldn't need qualifications to speak, but the biggest thing is that when you give an opinion, just call it an opinion.
Well, do respect Hidden Gems.
I'm sorry, you saying that you don't need experience to have an opinion?
No. I'm saying you don't need quality. You know how people are like, okay, say for instance, you got people that are sitting up here that have never, experienced a relationship. I don't know if y'all follow, you've got some people getting exposed as gurus, dating gurus, and
Grifters.
you find out these amongst other people, you know what I'm saying? And you find out these.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Shortage.
And
I
then,
don't know. Oh, there we go.
All right, there you go.
oh, okay, we good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
but I mean, the truth of the matter, you got people pushing their
Negative narratives.
yes to guide a group of people that are really and truly looking for an answer. And that's the thing. And I think a lot of it would be helped if you just said, well, this is my opinion based on my experience. But a lot of people are coming out with the negative saying that this is reality. And it's not even their reality. You got people pushing this red pill stuff and they don't even believe in it.
Mm.
Are you saying people can't tell the difference?
Oh, because there's
let's be honest. Yes, most of the kids cannot tell the difference. They don't know.
Okay, I could give you that for younger folks. But okay,
Yeah.
so Mr. Jim, everything you said actually was pretty much spot on. And you're right, you do have to look at the methodology of these studies. But the other thing too is everything that you talked about literally circles back around to stable two-parent families, like literally. Because I look at it like this: all that bad information that young folks are getting. All my kids are adults now, but I was able to interdict a lot of the nonsense and say, look, this is what it really is. This is what you need to be doing. I don't know how you get around anything other than stable two-parent families. I don't know how you get around anything other than that. So everything that you just mentioned, all the bad stuff, some of the good stuff, but everything that was negative in your statement. I'm not saying you were being negative. You were just kind of highlighting the issues. My whole thing is that it all circles back around to two-parent homes. If we're not doing that, then nothing else is going to work. And I think somebody else already alluded to that.
All right, Lady Di, it's your time, and welcome to the panel. Thank you so much for coming up, and go ahead and tell us what you think about all this.
I'm just listening, and I agree with Kevin right now about the last statement he made. We definitely have to bring families back together. There are people who broke up, and they're single parents, and some of them they didn't need to be broken up. They could have stuck together. Right. So something that's not as toxic. So you have people who just, they didn't do this right. They didn't do that right. You didn't meet my expectations. But that don't mean that you can fix it and glue it back together. You can, when you have kids with someone, that's a lifetime agreement that you have with someone. It's not until you're 18 where, I have nothing to do with you anymore. No, that's for the rest of your life, because the child is going to have graduations, they're going to go to college, you're going to have to support them most of their adulthood up until at least 30s for some of them. You have to do it together. You can't just leave these kids by themselves and go, when you're 18, I don't have to deal with you or your mother or you and your father no more. No, it's a lifetime thing you have to do. Therefore, you need to stick together with the person you having kids with. Now, I'm not speaking for the worst case scenarios, because the worst case scenarios, sometimes you got to let it go, right? Before a snap situation happened. But there's some situations, like in my family, my parents, they could have still been together today, 32 years, but they not, over something stupid. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, why are we living like this? You got kids out here suffering. You don't just suffer as a child, you suffer as an adult by not having your parents around. You're going to go through things in life that who are you going to ask? You can't even ask your parents, because your parents don't even know how to keep it together over something silly. Let's talk about that. We could talk about toxic stuff all day, which I'm pretty sure we'll talk about more in this live, but let's talk about the people who don't have toxicity, the people who, they're petty with their drama, the ones who having these arguments, but why are you even talking about that? Some things you could have just let go. You didn't have to say that. Some things you don't have to argue about all the time. Sometimes we have to learn how to be quiet. Sometimes we have to learn how to listen. Let's talk about communication. It's like the simple things that people can't stay together for, but then they're gonna, leave their relationship, leave their marriage and say, well, I'll do better by myself. No, you and your kids ain't doing better by yourself. Look around you. Look at everybody else around you. We're not doing good. We're hurting out here. Kids out here suffering. There's more crime that I've seen. I don't know how it was back in the day, But the crime that I'm seeing today with these middle school kids is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why is there so much crime today? The worst I've ever seen. I don't know. Y'all could probably speak more on it for how it was back then, but this is ridiculous. And a lot of these kids are coming from single parent homes, no parents at all, being raised by their grandparents, or coming from the foster care system. Because y'all guys can't keep y'all damn mouth closed and keep your relationship together, all because you pissed off all the time. I'm sorry.
All right. So listen, guys. Yeah.
All right.
Really, beloved.
Listen, we're gonna read some super chats, but listen, let's think about what Lady Di just said. It's time to fix the problem, because I'm going back to what Ricky said initially. It's too much of the wrong message that's being out here in these spaces. We got several people here. I think all are married. If I'm hitting gems, I'm not acquainted with you as of yet, but are you married?
No, I am not. I'm dating, but not married. Not married.
I know Ronan isn't. So we got two single men here. Ladies, we got two single men. So anyway, we got married folks here, and we are married and are talking about marriage, want to be married, or in successful marriages. I hope. I know that most of us are. I don't know much about Ekene, but I'm assuming he's in a successful marriage also. So we got enough people here in this building that we should make this the new message. And we should get away from all of that keeps us apart. I'm sorry, say it again.
I am in a very successful marriage.
See what I'm saying? So now we need to come against that that thing that keeps us single, because we always putting messages out there that keep us single. We don't see them that way. They put them out there as qualifications or preferences, and this is this and this is this. All that is put in place to keep us single. So y'all think about that for just a minute, and I'm gonna read these super chats and we're gonna get back into it. But Sugar Bum says, I like that. I like this, Ricky. Thank you so much, Sugar Bum. She liking something, Ricky. Sugar Bum, you know what? I know you got a man, right? And if you keep this up, I'm gonna be forced to talk to him about this. I'm gonna be forced to do so.
Sugar Bum just don't know I keep it thorough. You know what I'm saying? Like I wreck both sides when y'all bogus. When you wrong, you wrong. It don't matter who you is.
Right. So. You know what, Ricky, though? She playing in the right pond, though. She over here with us. She knows.
She the best of them. That's all I got to say.
She absolutely is. I can't take it. Look, I wouldn't have it any other way. But she goes some other places, Ricky. She give them hell. I can't help it. She do. But anyway, Marcus says no crew season tonight. No, Marcus, this is our crew season. I hope we've been sufficient for you. I know we have, and I love to have you and continue to support us. Thank you, Marcus, again for your $2 super chat. SB, we need to see you on Dear Future Wifey show. I like that. Put in a good word for me. Let's just get something together. I'll go in there and speak for us. Michael Richardson, it's good to see you. Thank you, sir, for your $10 super chat. I don't see any super chats. Hey, SB and Ricky. Here we go. Thank you so much. Marcus again. Oh, snap. We got homie Lady Di in the building. All right, Marcus. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. We got too many grifters in the spaces, and they need to be called out. Marcus, again, thank you for your $5 super chat. Talk to him, Lady Di. So listen, what you think about that? The grifters need to be called out. Ricky, that seemed like a job for you.
I'm trying.
I'm just kidding. Bolo, what's up with you? No, we all are trying. Every time we have they already know when we on these panels, we don't let it go. I know sometimes we do get tired of going back and forth, but sometimes you just can't hear some craziness, though. When they say something crazy, it automatically makes you respond. And I appreciate y'all for doing that. Both of you, Lady Di and Ricky. Ricky, I've been with you. I should say you were there first. So we got to call them out. We can't just let it go that way, because sometimes the message is ridiculous.
They liars. But you try to tell y'all, these people lie to y'all face. They lie to y'all face. Then as soon as the show over, they doing exactly what they telling y'all they wouldn't do. They liars. Listen to what I tell y'all.
I have to believe that.
The only thing that matters is results at the end of the day. That's it. How can somebody tell you they tell, this is how you get a good woman. This is how you get a good you want to be married, but you're not married. What?
Well, I'll say this in support of Ricky. It's like, the thing is, you got to realize with these grifters, you guys are letting them live off internet welfare. just by sending them super chats and unnecessary funds for give you misinformation.
And it's not no, hey, get your money, dog. Get your money, sis. But you ain't gonna sit up there and just lie to me, right? You're not gonna lie to me. You can lie to who you're not gonna lie to me, bro. Like you'll sit up there and rack a female and say that's a modern woman talking point, and then hit you with the same point. He just what?
Shoot.
They do a lot of that. They do a lot of go ahead, Lady Di. I think that was you talking. Go ahead.
My thing is, what I don't like when I'm on some of these panels is the misinformation you putting out. We already got enough of that. People watching this reality TV. We already got enough of the nonsense. So if you're gonna come on these panels, you better come with the facts or don't speak. Be quiet. It's okay. We don't have to hear you talk. We want to hear people that got knowledge and experience of the topic, or something that sounds more positive in a way that's gonna help somebody. And I feel like they just trying to argue instead of, being the one that's helping the community.
And you're paying for word salad with no lettuce.
Yeah. And it's entertainment over substance. It's entertainment over substance. A lot of these people in here, they're not trying to get a good message across. They're trying to get their likes up. They're trying to get subscribers. And the best way to do that is conflict. Speak on the negative things. That if you start presenting solutions, a lot of the younger ones, the ones that are on here every day, more than TV, they don't want to hear solutions. They want to hear conflict. They want to hear people going at each other. That's why you got people still calling for Kayla and Kay and them to come back. And I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying that the thing was that they liked people bumping heads. They didn't want to hear solutions. When too many people are agreeing or trying to solve a problem, you see the likes and the views fall off. You see it fall off.
Hey, Gems, I think my thing is, like, you got to ask yourselves a question. Like, for the people to stand on the streams for 6 to 12 hours, have you ever thought about how they verify their information? Have you ever took some time to sit there and wash their ass while they're sitting there wasting your time? You got to really ask yourself some serious questions, because once you log off, you still got to do your thing in life. You still have those situations that you've been running from. So if they're not helping if they're not providing solutions, then what are you doing?
And the crazy thing is, talking about this real quick, today I had to do something different. I was invited to the live, but I was actually on my own live, and I had to talk about Blueface today, because this is what people want to talk about. I don't know anything about this man, this kid. You understand? And I see him around with his baby mothers and everything. And I know a little bit, but I was like, this is what y'all want to see. So I had to put him on my live. And I'm like, wow, it was so toxic watching it. I'm like, I don't even watch this stuff no more. I used to watch Love and Hip Hop back in the day. I don't really watch that now, because that's not my life right now. My life is full of a whole bunch of positivity. I cannot even stand watching it, but this is what the entertainment is. Oh, I got more views for sure, because you got this Blueface as my thumbnail. Yeah, y'all want to click on that. All right, cool. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell y'all stop being this way. I'm going to tell y'all this behavior is nonsense.
I can't do it. The far as I can go is Miss Danae and Derek.
Yeah.
I can't go no lower. That's it.
So people have been hitting on Derek Jackson since he was starting out in his car. Like, we've been getting on his bumper since day one.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned Fresh and Fit. So look, Fresh and Fit actually started off pretty good initially. It really was to some level positive, but now it's really a joke at this point. They are pure entertainment, and whatever advice they were trying to give, it's not even. I wouldn't give that advice to anybody. One of the things they were saying, well, you got to have 50 women before you get married. I'm like, what?
The candy store, and all that stuff.
Because their idea is that if you have sex with 50 women, then somehow you're going to get the experience you need in order to be. I'm like, no, you don't. Look,
at what cost?
The only 50 women I know are in my family.
At what
I don't
cost?
even know 50 women.
The Fred
thing, and so it's just it's like the way they were explaining things. They're really not helping young men, which is why that's why I say look, I'm not gonna. They're supposed to be trying to help young men, so I know they get women on there too. But my whole thing is that this is why fathers have to interdict that. You know, I have a son. He doesn't listen to any of this stuff. He listens to me.
So listen, we have they
so
have
far,
1,000.
tracking.
I'm sorry, they have 1,000 people watching them. There's an entertainment aspect to it because they beat the girls up verbally. But the message that they're giving, Kevin, you just said it's not fit for any man. They shouldn't be saying these things. But do you know that those guys on there really believe what they're saying is absolutely true? And they should follow it as close as they absolutely can.
Well,
okay, so then I would say then who's the okay? So even if you listen to them, what man are you looking at and listening to in real life outside of those knuckleheads saying, "Hey, I heard on this show that you got to get 50 women in order to be effective as a man," or some nonsense, and you know, and then I would say absolutely not. What are you talking about, and why? And then I would explain that out and why that's not even important.
But see, you're not dealing with people like you. You're not dealing. They're not dealing with people like you. All right. A lot of their viewers are literally anywhere from probably 18 to 25. Majority of them, they're young men. Some still in college.
Some are in their 50s.
There are some, but a good amount of them are the younger men trying to find a reason. I know more kids that are sitting up there watching Fresh and Fit. What's his name? Andrew Tate. I got kids that are sixth graders that I was teaching. They know all about Andrew Tate. He gets locked up. I got sixth graders at my school saying, "Coach, can you believe what happened to Andrew Tate?" I'm like, what the hell you know about Andrew Tate? And they know all about him, what he stands for, what he's been saying. They're sixth grade. That's 13 years old. And so I'm telling you, these guys have a bigger influence. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people, and this is the future. This is the future. That's why I ain't gonna lie. I had to step away from my school, man. I'm just gonna focus on my biggest thing right now is the community, my community. All right. I really think we need to strengthen our community. We need to focus on ours. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all like this.
I gotta say this, guys. I gotta say this, right?
Okay.
I gotta say this.
Who's that?
You got Andrew Tate. The man is not Fresh and Fit. If you ask
so you are Andrew Tate watcher.
I watch all of them, but I'm a man of logic. The reason why I said Andrew Tate is not Fresh and Fit is because they espouse two different things. Fresh and Fit is trying to be Andrew Tate. You see what I'm saying? Andrew Tate is ahead of them. But
are we talking about
is Andrew Tate pushing the nuclear family or not?
No.
Andrew Tate is pushing the nuclear family, but on a different type of nuclear family.
Is it a business? Is it a business or is it covenant?
Okay, now you're talking. It's not business, neither is it covenant. I'm going to tell you why, because I listen to Andrew Tate from a different society perspective. You guys listen to Andrew Tate from American perspective. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? But I listen to Andrew Tate from a different continent, a different society perspective. So what Andrew Tate is pushing for is not suit for American household, because American household is more of not a polygamy society. You see what I'm saying?
I do, but Andrew Tate is coming from a place of a very rich man, and he's pushing that message of several wives if you could take care of them and all that. I understand what you're saying.
I don't hear wives. I hear women, and I hear girlfriends or concubines. I not concubines. I hear women, girlfriends. I don't hear wives.
I have heard wife. I have heard wife before.
Hidden James, right? You are coming from an American educated society. True. Andrew Tate is coming from a broader society other than where you live. Somebody that grew outside the United States, right, understand different cultures. When I hear Andrew Tate talking, right, I analyze Andrew Tate 10 different ways. You will analyze Andrew Tate one different way, but I will 10 different ways because I've been to so many societies, so I know how marriages are in these societies. You see what I'm saying? So
I do. We see what you're saying, but listen, let me say this now. We're not promoting Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Because wait a minute, hold on. Let me get done. We are in the United States. But see, this is the example of what we're talking about right now. What we got to do as people, content creators that are married, that want and understand that the nuclear family is the only alternative to what we have to do. This where it's the best way to raise our children and all of that. Just like we are talking about Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit. Somebody just put in the comment section that Fresh and Fit doesn't have 1,000 people watching. They have 10,000 people watching.
Thank you.
So we have to share these videos. We have to make this the new message. I would love to have a lot of subscribers, but I would love it more if more people knew that marriage was the answer and marriage is an option. Instead of those people like Andrew Tate will keep you single, because not many of people in our culture are going to achieve what Andrew Tate has and be able to have several women, concubines, polygamy, or whatever you want to call it. Not many men or any of these young boys that Hidden Gem is talking about are going to be able to achieve that. But guess what they'll do? So men are so goal oriented. They'll have their eyes on an Andrew Tate or Fresh and Fit, and they'll absolutely think they can do it. And they'll be holding back, waiting and trying to achieve this, which could be a bad thing or a good thing. But when do they come back and be like, look, I missed a bunch of good women on the way and I could have been this place now and I'm still here looking. So we don't want to promote that. We want to promote that a marriage, the legacy, men and the heads, women follow. We want to promote that message. So how do we get that out? We're here, we're speaking, just like Fresh and Fit has all this entertainment. So my suggestion to this is this: we, Lady Di, Ricky, Hidden Gems, Prototype. Do you have a channel?
Yeah, I do. Prototype Dad podcast.
Kevin C, you don't, do you?
No.
Okay. So all of the content creators that are here, Rona, you do too. We just got to do better work. We got to be more entertaining along with the message of marriage.
And consistent.
We got to do it.
That's a steep hill to climb because
don't change your platform, because like my platform, I talk about business and business only. I don't care if one person is watching or 10 people are watching. Some people are going to watch it tomorrow. Some people are going to watch it 1 year from now, and they're going to pick out something that will change their lives. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why I said this is because don't try to be Fresh and Fit. Don't try to be.
Oh, no. We would never. No. You misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding.
No, I don't understand where you're coming from for real. I was just adding something inside. I was just adding to it, to what you said.
No, see, look, Hidden Gems is a teacher. So he knows exactly how to relate to young people. He knows what they like to hear. He knows, and we're not doing Blueface. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have to be more relatable, more entertaining in whatever fashion. I don't know. I don't have the answer right now, y'all. I'm not coming to you with, this is how we're going to do it. I'm just telling you, in order for it to happen, this is what has to happen. And then all of us need to be sharing the word of marriage. Ricky has an outstanding channel where he's in the car every day. And Ricky, I hope I'm not wrong with saying every day, but Ricky's in the car every day, and we tune in and we watch Ricky drive down the street and go off, and we love it. But not too many people know that Ricky's in the car every day doing this, and it's like it works really well. Ricky, anyway, Ricky know what I'm talking about, and a lot of you all know what I'm talking about. It's Truck Chronicles, and Ricky does this every day, and we're watching. But if it would be much better if Ricky had 1,000 people driving and riding down the street with him, and Lady died the same. So all I'm saying is, and I think that's quite entertaining, Ricky. So I'm not telling you to change anything. I'm just saying I think that was kind of creative the way you did that. But we all have to find out something. And two, I got my new set back here. I haven't even introduced it to you all yet. So I am coming with something new and better, but we still have to be promoting marriage because that's where it is. And there's really no alternative to it. Again, women as women, we have a problem seeing the future. We can't see so far down the street around the corner. I already know that. I know who I am. So when we are out here meeting men, we want them to be perfect today. We want them to have everything. And we just have to continue to teach our ladies that it's not like that. We have to be in the mode of not building a man, but be willing to build with a man to get an actual good man. And Kevin C, I think, hold on a second. Kevin C, I think you asked that question. What is our part? Our part is becoming better women. And me being an elder, sharing with our ladies what it looks like to be a wife and to become a better woman. There's nothing wrong with that, whether I'm married or getting married or not. I could be totally missed and still need to be the best woman I should be. So you don't lose being the best person you can be. You know.
Say that again, SB. I didn't hear that.
let me back her up on that. Yeah, women need to change like now, because even if these men do better, who they going to? They gonna go damn be with they friends and they homies, you know, doing all that other stuff, and you ain't got nobody at home. So yes, we do need to change. I don't know who need to change first. I think women need to change first, because when these men start learning how to lead, who they leading? Because that's the issue. The men were leading, and what was the women doing? Talking too damn much, things that they didn't need to say, things that was irrelevant. You know, shaming and belittling. And I'm not talking about all. I'm just talking about some. So
let me say this to Sugar Bum. Sugar Bum said this red pill stuff. Sugar Bum, I'm gonna have to. I got a confession for you. Oh, this is my confession. I know nothing about the manosphere nor a red pill. Surprised? I know nothing about that. Nothing at all. I just know how to be a good wife. I know how to live a good life, and I know how to get what I want in life and be successful at it. And that all came to me by way of husband.
So you guys, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying it came by, it had nothing to do with a red pill. So when she says that, and I don't even know if she's talking to me or not, but when she says that, I don't know what the red pill talking point is. I have no idea, because what my husband do has nothing to do with what I have to do for myself. Nothing. Because what if something happens to my husband? I got to be ready for the next one. I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna be a wife, y'all. You know, I'm gonna be a wife. You know, I might have to adapt to someone else. It may not be easy, but my relationship with God, my creator, it still has to be intact. I still have to be being a wife. I still have to be a good woman for my husband who's here now. So I have a covenant. I made that same covenant my husband did. So I gotta honor it also. So I don't know where the red pill come in with that, but that's my job. You know, and if Mr. Boss is falling off a cliff, I can't go behind him. I gotta stay very sturdy on my 10 toes down, being a wife and doing what I'm supposed to do. So that's how it's supposed
people
to work.
who are happily married don't need the red pill or the manosphere, none of that stuff. But you know, just so you guys know, the genesis of the manosphere and the red pill was basically a response to what women were doing.
Okay. So that's what you mean.
That was the genesis of it.
Yeah, because she says you can't shame people into doing what you want.
So what happened was
issue with it.
So what happened was men actually developed a counter response to what women were doing.
That's the issue with it.
So Sugar Bum's gonna help me. She said, because how about making it? Listen, go ahead, Kevin. See, because you're saying how about making it seem attractive? Now, Sugar Bum, I need your help, because I come here at least 3 times a week, and I don't know not one thing that I share with you all that doesn't seem attractive. Unless you're saying me myself is just broke down and disgusting.
we know that ain't true.
Attractive, pretty lady, got it together. She speaks well. What else do you need? Because if we start talking about stuff that y'all want to hear, which is, oh, it's okay to talk down and belittle people. Yeah, you could do that because he deserves it. He didn't take out that trash. Yeah. Like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to say it's okay to sit here and do things that are not right. What's attractive is the truth. And I don't
go one farther, lady Di. I'm not gonna compare myself to him. We have 2 different jobs.
Right.
I'm not gonna compare myself. He's not my equal. I have a role that I play in this thing that doesn't include my husband. There's things I'm supposed to be doing that doesn't include him.
Look.
Go ahead, Ricky.
Look, chat. Let me hold. I gotta do this.
Did you hear what I said?
I gotta do this.
You're so silly.
Gentlemen, listen and listen well. You are not to be moved by anybody if you don't want to. You can't shame me into nothing. You can't convince me to do nothing I don't want to do. I don't care how fine you is or how fat your ass is. I don't care. That's y'all problem. Y'all reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah.
I'm a man. Now, I might not be the man you like or you want, but I'm a man. I said it last night. My wife, this is her house. This is my wife's house. I bought it for her. If it wasn't for her, I'd be in an apartment. I don't care. But I run her. Y'all don't understand y'all position. That's the whole problem. Y'all continue to allow people to dictate what you supposed to be instead of being the man you need to be for you. This is the entire problem. Say you don't know what a man is. Say you never had anybody sit you down and give you the rules of the game. I give them to you. I do it every day. Ask Ronan.
Mm-hmm.
But what y'all don't understand, you grow, right? You grow, but you don't really change. You grow, but you don't really change.
Pull up.
Facts.
Right? A woman's gonna rock with you for you. Everything else is just icing on the cake. I done seen homeless men with women.
Did you hear what I said?
Bums on the street with wife and with a girl and dogs, and both of them out there begging.
Yep.
What is your value as a man? What is it? Right? Because if you valued yourself as a man, a woman moving out of pocket, it don't affect me in the least because you gone.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing I tell y'all about ladies. You know a good lady by the moves and choices she makes. You're not going to get over you ain't going to treat, oh, I'm a good woman. Then why you let them treat you that way?
Hey.
Why? Right? Stop pointing the finger. It's you. When I was going through stuff, everything I went through was a result of the choices I made and people being people. You can't control your wife's feelings, dog. She her own person. That's why I tell y'all, your feelings are yours and you're entitled to them. You have to figure out what type of man you are before you affect any change in your life. Until then, you stuck. You on a treadmill. You in quicksand.
Yeah.
And you're going to continue to point fingers and make excuses and blame it on somebody else, which is just going to continue and further you're sinking in a quicksand. And what's crazy is the branch is right there. You can see it, you can reach it, but you don't want to stick your arm out because you don't want to take blame for what we all here to do what we all here to do. What's the point of great men when ain't no good women?
Mm. None. So listen to this, y'all. Easy Money Jones, Easy Money, you just the gift that keeps on giving. I gotta tell you. This is a young man, and let me tell you what this young man just said. And I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, so you know you can actually comment, ask questions, or what have you. He says, "Why am I marrying someone I'm not equal to? I don't deal with people I'm above, but that standard men shouldn't marry. But let's see, by that standard, men shouldn't marry women. Hey, so listen, let me tell you something. Easy. This is a young man." Easy, we are definitely equal in creation, meaning God created us. But in marriage, we have totally different roles. And I know you know that. I know you know that because you don't expect I'm going to use the man's example. You don't expect your woman to jump out in front of the bullet unless you're saying you wouldn't jump out in front of the bullet either. I'm not sure. But women have their roles as wives and men have their roles as husbands. And we're not equal. You know we're not equal. Your wife has a responsibility to be nurturing, to be your helpmate from the beginning. Now, if you don't believe that, then I'm talking to the wrong person. Again, though, we are equal in creation. And if that's what you meant, then I'm going to stop right there. But then you go on to say about something about being above a person. You as a man are the head of the household. And again, if you don't believe in that, then again, I might need to stop this conversation. So I don't know what your belief system is. So I'm gonna stop right there because maybe you believe something different. But again, like I said, you keep giving though. We got some super chats we're gonna read, and then we're gonna just go on. We're gonna do some final thoughts because y'all, it is about to be midnight. And I have appreciated everything that you all have done being here with us. This is our version of the Krew season. No, I'm not gonna let y'all do it. We're not going past midnight because y'all are not gonna do that to me. How often am I jumping in front of bullets? That's extreme. Okay.
Midnight,
Okay.
are you on the East Coast, SB?
I am.
Okay,
But listen, Easy Money took that statement so literal. Okay, you calling it bullets because it comes out of a weapon. I understand, but guess what? There are a lot of firing squads out there that are in this world. It may not be the actual weapon with the ammunition that a person shoots and takes advantage. It could be, oh my God, it could be the bill collector calling, harassing your wife about when the bill gonna get paid. Would you not pick up the phone and make that arrangement? Could you not see that as are you gonna leave that up to your wife? Or could it be your son who's 13 years old and bad as hell? That could be a bullet. Or are you gonna leave that up to your wife? What part are you trying to play in this? I'm telling you, just because I use standing in front of your wife and receiving the ammunition, the bullet, or what have you, it doesn't have to be you too literal with that. I mean, that could happen, hopefully, and pray to God that doesn't. But there are a lot of things that a woman should not be handling when she has a husband there with her, because most women who are in marriage should be willing to take the role of helpmate and let the man have the bigger responsibility in the marriage situation. And I'm there to do whatever it is that you would like for me to do as your helper. But again, if that is not what you believe, I'm not talking to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and do these super chats. Fat Boy for Life, $5. Thank you for that. Lady Di, I love you, James. Okay. Now, wait a minute, Lady Di, your husband named James?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure. There's no inside flirting going on. I'm just kidding. Marcus, again, thank you for your $2 super chat. The art of listening is the key. You're right. It's not easy. Take heed. What you up to? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Love your content. Thank you. Sugar Bum, well, Lady Di shaming now. So, Lady Di, you shaming?
Stand on it.
Yes.
She says yes.
Agree and amplify.
Yes. Cover
she was
your
shaming.
bottom. Cover your bottom and sit down and be quiet. You know what? There's a lot of power in silence. I should tell women that. A silent woman is very powerful. It's very feminine, actually. Just in case y'all didn't know that. Marcus, thank you so much again for your $5 super chat. We need Ricky's school right now. Ricky, you gonna open up a school? That's what you do with the Truck Chronicles, though. Actually, you're driving down the street and like, this just came in my mind. Let me share it with y'all.
The truth offends people. Let's just be honest.
Oh well,
It's Ricky's boot camp.
Care about that.
I'm not gonna be liked. I already know what it is. I accepted that fact.
I am a walking offense, and I don't even know it. I have no idea. I should know it though, because people tell me enough to know. I should really get it. Again, Marcus, thank you. Great show tonight. Y'all should do this more. Just suggestion. Good night. Thank you, Marcus. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Big Ant, tell them SB. Clap, clap, clap. I don't know why they don't want to get married. The nerve of some people. Big Ant. Now, Big Ant, you better stop. Because I already know every time I talk about marriage, you talk about driving faster away from the church. I already like, SB, you go get on my nerve with that. I'm driving faster when you start talking about getting married. Then he go, oh my goodness, Big Ant, you got it. So listen, what is this I'm hearing? I'm gonna have some finals. Oh, Sugar Bum. Oh my goodness, Sugar Bum, more like shady and chameleonish, but whatever. Chameleonish, really? Sugar Bum, are you calling me a chameleon?
Oh, sit down and wipe your butt.
You talking to me?
Oh, Lady Di, are you a chameleon this week?
Am I? Go ahead, watch my lives. Go see how I speak, and you tell me, because I don't think so. That's not.
Well, maybe she hadn't seen that man that be in those videos with you.
Lady Di, you're supposed to support her edgeless antics.
That could make Sugar Bum. That could make a difference. Did Sugar Bum? Did you see that man that's in that video with her? Them videos? Did you see him? He's smiling. He seemed like he happy. Oh, we know Sugar Bum. You a mess, girl. Anyway, we're gonna have some final thoughts. I appreciate y'all so much. My ears are extra sensitive to men saying women. What? Easy? What you talking about, buddy? He says, my ears are extra sensitive to men saying women are lesser than. That is often used as a justification to be cruel to women. I don't know. Let me say this though. Let me say this.
Okay.
I don't think a man would marry a woman that he loves and cares for and take care of and pay bills for her and gives her a baby and do all that and actually think that she's less.
No, and it's the opposite. You're actually thinking more of that woman.
That's what I would think.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's an investment.
I would think so. So I think we get lost in translation. You say how I put that in there. Lost in translation. You hear me?
Yeah, and it's not
so
less.
I think the verbiage is wrong for that. We don't even think
exactly
like that.
Exactly. It's not less. It's positions, right? It's nothing wrong with understanding that there are certain positions and relationships that people have certain responsibilities. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think you less than, but I have a certain responsibility to you to perform above and beyond for certain things. And it's the same for her. Right.
I don't think that in any way could be. Yeah, I don't think in any Sugar Bum. I think we got that messed up. I don't think in any way it could be less than. If we're talking about, wait a minute, that wasn't Sugar Bum. That was Easy. I'm sorry, Sugar Bum. Easy. I don't think it could be less than. Actually, that would be a man would adore a woman that he marries. Typically, when men marry a woman, actually it makes the decision to do so, they really adore the women that they're asking for their hand in marriage. That's like a big deal to a man. Typically now some of us just want to be married and had a wedding, but for a man, it's like what they giving their life. They actually know and have thought about what comes with those nuptials. So most of them are really sincere about it, and they adore their women. They're not trying to see them as less.
You just got to focus on the message, not the words.
Yeah, I think that wording might be off. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a final thought. Hidden Gems, you go ahead and go first.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, honestly, hey, look, I think what we're doing here, what y'all are doing on your own is great on YouTube and everything. I think this is half of the issue. You know, this is half of the solution. I think part of it is going to be also getting out there from time to time. It may not necessarily have to be getting in the community, but we all got neighbors. We all know Black people. You know, we all know people that need help, women that are single, men that are single, men that are looking to find something, qualified women that are trying to find something, helping them through message, whether it's through your YouTube or just kind words, guidance and whatnot. I think we just need to continue to relay this message as much as we can. I think we need to, like you said, maybe find a way to make it entertaining, but thing is we got to get the message out, because sometimes as you can see, we're not the most watched.
No,
the message that we're putting out today is not going to match the number of views or the number of people that are going to be watching the other stuff that counteracts this, what we're talking about. So, you know, we just got to find a way to get the community together on the same message, the same goals, the same views.
You know, there is a point where we do win. And that point is when we're sharing these videos and getting them out to more people, so YouTube can see that this message too wants to be heard. And that's the problem. Because believe it or not, YouTube somewhat suppresses our message also. But it's all business for them. Of course, if all of that arguing and back and forth is getting 1,000 to 10,000 views per time, they're going to push that. Anybody would. And over here, what I got maybe up to 80 tonight and maybe get up to 120 or whatever. So we got to share the videos in order to let YouTube know that, hey, there are people out there that are looking for this. They want this. And then it will carry itself on. And then all of us can actually play a larger part in getting the message out for the nuclear family.
I would also say, get out there. The other thing is there are some people that aren't on YouTube that need the help. If YouTube is the what we have to go through as far as our videos and whatnot, and it's not working for us, we find that it may be working against us in most cases, then hey, we got to do the harder work, put our feet on the ground, talk to a couple of people in your neighborhood. Don't have to be 10, 2 will work. Pass the message and they'll pass it on to the next. Help one and they'll help another, and it'll go forward. But it's gonna have to be both on and off the screen, in my idea. You know what I'm saying? The way I see it, it has to be on and off the screen.
I agree with you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Kristen Smith, yes, we are here weekly, normally Monday and Fridays, but on Wednesday we're on cruise season. But if we're not on cruise season, we're definitely here. And we have Ricky and Ronan and Prototype. We all have the different channels that we actually do podcasts, and we speak to you all on about marriage and good things. So yes, we are all here weekly. Kevin C, go ahead and take us out of here. What you got to give to us tonight?
Yeah, so back to the original question on the floor, nuclear families. There's no alternative to that. We're gonna have to, get that done. This plays into I just look at the over, I know some people don't like stats, but I kind of point to that because, that kind of helps me out as far as making my decisions. But that 30% marriage rate is for Black people as a whole. That's Black men and women together. That's terrible. Matter of fact, when I have this conversation with non-Black people, non-Blacks as I call them, as far as they're concerned, they're better. They feel that they're better people because they have a higher marriage rate, because they have this, they have that, whatever. But you know what? It always points back to what I call the Black pathology argument. That Black pathology argument has been a concept since 1965. It came out in the Moynihan Report. And whenever somebody has a criticism of Black people or Black Americans as a whole, they always point to that argument and they go, oh, well, crime, Black people, okay, create more families. Oh, education problems, create more families. Oh, economic problems, oh, create more families, which they're actually right. But my issue is that they don't really have the nuances and the details about how and why that got like that in the first place and what we need to do and what we need to be doing in order to fix it. We need to be solving our own problems. But I'm just telling you, this is a talking point at the highest levels. When I say highest levels, this is not just YouTube. I'm talking about like mainstream media. It's talked about on Fox News. You know how they are. And then CNN, before they fired Don Lemon, he was talking about it. They always bring in Black people to talk about it when they're talking about the Black pathology argument. MSNBC. Right now, there is a Republican candidate. If you guys are following the politics at all, there's a Republican candidate. He's an East Asian Indian dude.
I heard him. I heard the argument.
Every time I hear this dude talk, you know who he is invoking? He's invoking Black people. And there'll be no Black person in the audience. He ain't even Black, but he's up there talking about Black people and he's using the Black pathology argument. So
didn't him and Don get into an argument?
Yeah, he actually did. That's
why he got fired, didn't it?
Yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And my whole point is that people use that as a way to justify what happens to Black people if it's bad. Oh, Black pathology, or to mistreat Black people, Black pathology. So as far as I'm concerned, in order to get away from that, one of the ways to do it is, the nuclear family, stable two-parent homes, kids being raised to be positive, productive citizens and contributing members of society. And you can't do that by yourself. Everything that we've seen over the last 4 decades plus has shown us that it does not work. So that's my argument to people when they say, well, marriage and this and whatever. I'm like, if you're not going to be producing kids, then fine. But if you're going to produce children, you need to be getting married. That needs to happen. All right. And I'll go ahead and stop right there. Thanks for letting me up. That's actually what I came up to talk about, the Black pathology argument. Because you mentioned that dude thinking low value. That's where that comes from. It's not only non-Black people who believe it, but some Black people believe it as well. And when I hear them talking about it, I get on them about it. And then I start going in and we don't have time to get into it now because I'm closing out. But by the time I get done with them, they're like, oh, Kevin, oh, okay, yeah. Now they have to actually conduct critical thinking with me, because I'm going to challenge them on it. But at any rate, thanks for letting me up. I appreciate the conversation, and you're doing great and amazing things. I don't always come up, but I do listen to you in the background.
Thank you.
I know you see my comments.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you always comment. I love your engagement. But listen, I appreciate your stats and the fact that you said I think 40% of the men are in the Black community. They want to be married. I think that's what you said.
Yeah,
I need them to go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
that's what we need to happen.
They'll do it, but they'll do it, but they got to get wives too. Now they got to.
But that's the part we got to work on
in order for marriage.
That's the part. That's what I was going to say. That's the part we have to work on. Yeah. We got to work on that.
Because I don't like that either. We should have more Black. If we get 30% more Black men married, we're at 60%. Bam.
There you go.
Right off the rip. And then we're blowing past them. We're blowing past 2 other racial groups, so I can go over there and talk crap to them.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much.
At any rate, thanks for letting me. I appreciate you.
Ronan, you and my buddy up here beside me. No cap. Where's mine? I'm lost.
I was just saying that because listen, where's the shirt?
I mean, I'm lost.
The shirts are available on Spring, ricky-williams.creator-spring.com. I'll put the link in the chat, and it's in the back chat too. So if you want to go ahead and order a shirt, go ahead and click on the link. I'll put it in there for y'all again. And that's where they're at. They're reasonable price too. I ain't trying to take nobody to the bank or nothing either, so.
I like that, Ricky. Okay, Ronan, go ahead and give us what you got.
Well, there is an alternative to the nuclear family, be an impactful one. And we talking about quality over quantity. There's too many people putting out propaganda and negative things about what their fears are and whatnot. But you start seeing the difference. Use that discernment to become better. Learn how to be those ones that set the tone and move on to the next generation rather than repeat the same mistakes. And it all starts with having a healthy relationship with yourself. You start building those blocks, and then you learn how to work with that other person. As Lady Di said, like, talking about communication, understanding, learn how to listen to receive rather than respond.
Right.
Learning each other's love language, learn how to respect each other, learning why that person's there, and remind them on a regular basis. So their context about love being a business, it's your business to be better than you were yesterday.
I like that.
So
thank you, Ronan.
Yeah, that's what I say about it. Oh, and stop supporting these grifters. Like I said, they're internet hobos.
Oh God, we gotta write that one down. Internet hobos. Goodness gracious. All right, Ronan. All right, have a good night, Ronan. We'll see you soon. Prototype, what you got for us? You've been quiet for a while.
I just been letting everybody else spin it. You know what I mean? Everybody got some good things to say. But not coming from me, man. I kind of don't agree with Ronan on the quality over quantity thing, right? So like, we need more families than ever, and I think quality will come with the quantity. You know what I'm saying? The more of us that get married, eventually a lot of us will be better, better at it, because that's what we're doing. The nuclear family is the only way for us to get over these hurdles and stop having these conversations. These conversations are never going to stop until we start making that move of getting nuclear families together. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of my belief around it. That's my godly perspective on it. And I'll just leave y'all with that. So hey, thanks for having me on, and I appreciate y'all.
You know you're welcome to come in anytime. Thank you for being here. Look, if you're married, you got a free ticket. Come on up.
All right, bet.
All right, talk to you soon. Lady Di, it's good to see you, dear. How are you? Sincerely.
Yes, I'm well, trying to figure out life with, I have kids, husband, figuring out a great schedule with this busy life now that YouTube has taken over. YouTube has taken over, but I appreciate you inviting me here. Great discussion. And last thing I just want to say is, we shouldn't be fighting against each other. We're here to love each other. We're here to bring balance. That's the difference or that's the point, I should say, of having a man and a woman, is to have balance. And if you want balance in your life, then you should think about having a spouse. You start off in a great relationship, and then, you could just tie the knot. And it's something great when you do it right. You're going to learn from mistakes, but just make sure that don't just say marriage is bad because you see all these divorces, you see all this toxic behavior. That's just them. It's the person. It's not the marriage. So let's separate what marriage is supposed to be and how people are acting. So that's all I wanted to say. But yes, thank you for having me.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. And we're going to tune in soon. And you're welcome to come back anytime.
Okay.
All right. Good night. So, Ricky, then there were two.
Yes, ma'am.
Ricky, thank you so much for being here tonight. We missed on Wednesday. We don't do Krew season on Wednesdays. I miss not doing something. So we got to put something together.
You in the habit. That's all it is.
I'm in a habit. You had your whole life planned out. Like, my people don't see me tonight. They might miss me. You don't want them to miss you. So
yeah.
Again, I appreciate everything you do. Continue to do what you do. We're going to continue to put this message out. I'm going to continue to try to be more entertaining and share the message of marriage being an option. And I know you're going to do the same. And that looks like we're just going to have to continue to call things out.
Yeah, I'll close this out. I want to salute you and Mr. Boss.
Thank you.
I want to salute y'all. You know what I'm saying? I want to salute you for staying positive, even when days it's like, you know what I mean? On this thing. And look, I look at y'all as an example.
Thank you.
Right? I look at y'all as an example, and this is to everybody that watches down the line when we long gone off this YouTube thing. Is it safe to think, or is it impossible to think that SB, and Mr. Boss are so successful in their lives because they figured it out early? Right? Figured it out. Hey, that we here for each other. Let's go ahead and get the stupid stuff out the way. Right? Let's put that to the side so we can build this thing. Right? I seen a video, Rich Auntie, you know what I'm saying, pulling up in the C8. You know, if we want to keep it on the material stuff, but I look at it as that's a byproduct of y'all working together.
It absolutely is.
Right. So maybe the things that everybody chase, right? The convenience, the money, the luxury become easier, right? If they get with a partner that they got love for and that love them, and y'all figure it out to do it that way. Just a thought.
Ricky, beloved. Ricky, that's where it is. It's gotta be that. I mean, that's what you and your wife have. Come on. I mean, that's the answer. But we gotta convey that message, because there's so much junk other than what you just talked about out there now that precedes even the marriage. How do we even get there? I mean, you got people that don't even want to build. I mean, I ain't never in my life.
see what I'm both sides of. You know how I feel about this. It's OV. I'm telling y'all, it's over. Like, this is me. Like, I'm a realist at heart. What I wish for and what I know what's gonna happen is two totally different things.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. First and foremost, the very way to fix the problem is the solution to the problem is the solution, and the solution is the problem. As crazy as that makes sense.
No, you're saying get married. That'll take care of all the situation. Yeah.
Right.
No, I hear you.
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So nobody, I'm not gonna say nobody, the majority, right? Because everybody keep talking about the majority and they don't need this and that. They don't find value in people anymore.
Nope.
Right? They're like, your ego is God. Like I said, I tell you all the time, SB, everybody, like, we have all these people that say they know the Bible, that say they love Jesus supposedly and fear God, and see the Bible happening right in front of their eyes and don't recognize it. It's like, oh, well,
that's true.
It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Very true.
Right. So and what's crazy is the blueprint was there long before we been here, SB, and it'll be there long after we gone. But people gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. And people aren't motivated by love. They're not motivated by duty. They're motivated by fear and false expectations. Anxiety. Again, we as a people allow other people to define our realities and our relationships. Right? That's why they call it the rat race. That's what they call it, the rat race. So it's to distract. So you're so busy running a rat race, it distracts you from everything that really matters.
Right.
I'm telling you, like, y'all ain't gotta believe me. Y'all gonna wake up one day and you're gonna be like, I was a sucker.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. I'm telling y'all.
So listen, my hopes are this, that the women that want to be wives, I want them to be able to align themselves right now with what God says a wife looks like. And I actually believe if they want that, then their husband will come and they'll have an opportunity to live that life. I don't know how long, of course. And then from that point on, you have to build a foundation with him, and it is what you make it. You pour into your life and nothing supersedes your marriage. Nothing or anyone supersedes your marriage, not even your kids. I actually always say, have a foundation before you bring these kids into this world, and even more so now, because wow, it's a hard time for kids. So I know that's the reason why we get together, and I want women and men to get together in marriage and procreate and have children and do what they're going to do. But still, you got to make sure you're picking the right ones. You got to make sure.
Agreed.
So anyway, Ricky, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to read these super chats and I'm going to get out. And I thank everybody in the comment section for being here with us. Y'all have been outstanding tonight, as always. But Fat Boy for Life. Leave Lady Di alone. Who was messing with Lady Di? We got her back. Don't worry about it. Kevin C., thank you so much for your $60 Honduran dollar super chat. And he says, shout out to you and your family, Lady Di. And again, he says, shout out to you, good sir, at Ricky Williams. Thank you so much. So thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Listen, if y'all don't see me tomorrow, y'all see me on Friday. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate y'all for being here. Continue to share the message of the nuclear family. It is an option.